but so wait.
Hey, yeah, let's see how you do under pressure. Oh, yeah, I've been wanting this shit forever. I've been in the field with whatever they throw at me. Brush it off, pick myself up, moving on to the better. Okay, hey, yeah, ain't no errors, baby, it's a new era. I wake up early, feeling rich like I'm Kesha. I get to the paper, boy. Extra, extra. Fuck with me, you know that I got it. Come with me, let's take a trip to the islands. We up on the jet, we'll do more than just fly on it. Stand on that hill, you gon' die on it.
Man, that song just goes hard as fuck.
We gotta update that fucking video package, bro.
Yeah, dude, there's so much.
Jesus Christ.
So much. Jesus H. God damn, there's so much that's outdated in that video. I gotta really get on that, man.
Hey, at least the only thing that's not outdated in there is Judgment Day having all the gold.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. You're not wrong. You're not wrong there. Jesus H. Well, at any rate, welcome to the Fireflies Wrestling Podcast. Today is July 6th, 2025, the year of our Lord. The year of the snake.
That's right. Jake the Snake here. The story here, we have me with Alice Cooper. You remember I once had a friendship with Alice Cooper? And there was this Elvis impersonator named the Honky Tonk Man. Tried to mess with me. So we went to WrestleMania, and me and Alice Cooper, we presented Damien to Honky Tonk Man, and he got scared shitless. So we got our revenge there. Rock on.
Absolutely. School is out for summer, I guess, as you would say.
That's right.
But anyways, Ryan says, gentlemen, how's it going? Happy belated 4th of July.
Well, thanks, Ryan. Well, Canada here. Happy Canada Day. Belated Canada Day for myself. Yeah.
Yeah. You guys had. Yeah. You guys had Happy Canada Day. Happy Canadian Independence Day. That's awesome.
Pretty much, essentially. That's what our birthday, basically.
Yeah. Absolutely. And we had 4th of July this past week. Before we jump into it and get into any of the wrestling stuff, JR, how was your Canadian Independence?
It's good. Just 1 day off, so not really a good, a long weekend like you guys had, but it was nice to have a break there. Just mostly just hung around and just watched the NHL free agency, because the TSN, our ESPN of Canada, has their own free agency frenzy. So I just watched that mostly and just chilled.
Nice.
Other than that, week went pretty quick. Just had a barbecue this weekend. Went to the Blue Jays game yesterday. Fun fact. So, you have the regular seats that are over $100 or like $40. Yeah. My ticket was only $20. And you get to go roam around the whole 500 outfield section.
What?
Without having to sit down on anywhere. They've built 2 kind of public areas where you can grab a drink and then watch the game from there for $20.
No.
Amazing, right?
Fuck's sake.
Yeah, and they won, and they're on a roll. So
pretty dope.
I'm very happy about it.
That's awesome. That's pretty fucking awesome, man. Sounds like a good day.
It was a good day. Absolutely, yes.
Oh yeah. Chris, how was your 4th?
Really quick, JR. Those trades have been pretty crazy. All the trades in the NHL and drafts. My God.
That has been. Yes.
I'm doing good, man. I hope you had a good 4th, Sean. Hope you had a good Canada Day, JR. Finally got 2K25. Pretty stoked about that. Finally was able to go to the fishing pier yesterday before a big storm hit to go catch a sunset. Finally went food shopping for the first time in 3 months. Had a really good paycheck and seemingly digging myself out of this hole, thankfully.
Nice.
So yeah, man, I'm doing a lot better than I have been.
It's good. It's good. It's always good. like Chris said on my echo, I hope that you had a really good Canadian Independence Day. My 4th was great.
Thanks, Ryan.
Hell yeah. My 4th was great. I woke up with 0 plans and then was like, I'm going to go visit my family. So I went out to West Virginia. They live out there. They did a barbecue. It was really good to see them. I haven't seen them in a while just due to some stuff that has happened in my life. But yeah, before that, I went on 2 dates, really good dates, really great dates. Went out, did some stargazing, got kicked out of a national park.
You never let me know how was that second date.
Dude, that second date was amazing.
Good,
it was great, man. We went out to a like a hunting reserve. There was nobody there. We stargazed. We saw a bunch of shooting stars, potentially a UFO. Got to listen to bullfrogs and see fireflies all throughout the fields, man. And so it was really fucking awesome.
Just to bust your balls.
Yeah.
When's the wedding?
Shit. Look, man.
I love it, dog.
I know I love you too. I'm taking it slow. She's taking it slow. And that's
well, if you go too fast, you'll explode. I'm sorry.
Yeah. That tends to happen.
Cinema.
That tends to happen, man. And
Jesus!
Yes.
I didn't want to say anything like that.
This podcast.
This is the best thing to happen to me today.
JR's reaction every fucking time, it never disappoints.
I had a good time. I had a good time connecting with another human being that I'm interested in. So it was really cool, man. 0 expectations, just having a good time. So yeah.
Did you make her say I love you, Solo?
No, I didn't make. I didn't make her say I love you, Solo. I'm fucking happy I didn't. But
you should have told her acknowledge.
Well, hold on.
You can play for a trifecta.
That's how I felt after the date. Hey,
Y'all are too much.
I hope you hit her with an RKO afterwards, or else you.
No.
That's domestic violence, and we don't advocate. We don't advocate for that. But anyways, yeah, dude, really, really good dates. Awesome. Probably the best first and second date I've ever had in my life. Just random ass shit. We ended on the first date after we got kicked out of the national park. The park ranger was like kind enough to be like, hey, yeah, look, there's another spot y'all can go to, but it's a haunted bridge. Like people actually go and investigate there. So we went and we saw an impromptu investigation. That was really fucking cool, man. So yeah, I had a blast, but we're not here to talk about dating life. We're here to talk about wrestling. And before we get into wrestling, we have something we do every single show. I just smacked my screen on accident. Sorry. We like to pop the top on whatever we're drinking. And so JR, what are you drinking on? The Huge?
No. I already drank that already. It's pulled it out of the fridge, not sponsored. Gatorade Zero. Berry punch.
Sure got the Gatorade again.
H2O. Gatorade this time. No. Well, the H2O is here, but I have the Gatorade, which is better. Gatorade.
H2O.
Yeah. You're drinking the wrong kind of water.
Oh, it says. Chris, what are you drinking on?
I'm drinking a Green Monster, not sponsored.
Ooh. Get me a little. Never mind. I'm gonna keep that to myself.
After all the shit that I said, you're gonna keep that to yourself, brother.
Oh, you get me a little wet over here, dog. With
hey,
the
yo. Soaked.
Hey, yo. Soaked.
Call you Mr. Moisturizer.
Call me Mr. Spray Bottle.
I'm not calling you that.
I do have a story offline that I can't talk about on here. I'll show you later.
Forget Mr. Clean. We got Mr. Queef over here.
Oh, shit. God damn. All right. I'm drinking on not sponsored. You know, we aren't sponsored, but apparently this is really good. It's a good flavored spicy for it's frostbitten citrus. Citrus is always good. It's vitamin C. It helps with your immune system. I don't think that this is going to help any of that for me. but it's good.
Have you ever seen Rush Hour?
Yeah.
I cannot look at the drink C4 and not think of Chris Tucker. C4? You got C4 in the trunk.
And I got Mountain Dew in this tomorrow.
Oh,
got
is that
Mountain
the
Dew.
new one?
Yeah, the pineapple and berry.
Ew.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah,
Wait,
buddy.
wait. Is that the one that has the lemon in it?
No, it's just pineapple.
Okay, never mind. It's not the one. It's not the newest one then. There's
Yeah,
one that has lemon in it. Blech.
I had this one last night, man. It was really good. So I got 2. But at any rate, we're gonna go ahead and pop the top on what we're drinking. Fellas, have a good show. We're gonna have a great show. We're gonna enjoy ourselves. We're gonna have a blast. We're
Yes.
talking shit. All right, here we go. That smells toxic. I do the smell test before I sip it.
It's like drinking
That's-
gasoline.
Dude, like no joke, that sounds like I'm gonna get heartburn and then shit it out.
Cool.
That's surprisingly very good.
You ever had
Like a orange creamsicle. Go for it.
I said, you ever had Nas?
Nos, yeah,
Yeah, Nas is really good.
dude. When I was in Afghanistan, they had this energy drink called Tiger's Blood. Mm. It was like you took meth, crack, heroin, mixed them together, you put it in a drink. That shit was crucial. Yes. All right, so we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna jump into today in wrestling history. JR, what you got for us, man?
Absolutely. We got some interesting ones here. So we're going to start with July 1st, as we are now past.
Before we jump into that, sorry. I'm wearing Texas hoodie. I don't normally do shout outs for people, but this is a shout out for the victims. Yeah, party in a can, absolutely. This is a shout out for all the victims that lost their life, family members of that are missing people down in Texas due to the flash flood. I don't have any words to say, as far as how sad that is. But I hope that you find peace, and I hope that everybody is recovered, and that Texas can recover. Texas grow. All right, go ahead, JR.
All right. So as I was saying, because we're past the first of the month, we always have to go to July, the first of the month. We're going to start with July 1st here. We'll take Jeff Hardy.
Hardy.
Here. We will get to that match here. We'll start with 1991. Ric Flair is WCW Championship. By the way, speedy recovery to him. I know he had some surgery recently. Hope you're doing well, Nate. Depending on who is telling the story, Flair either quit or was fired after he refused to take a drastic pay cut and wouldn't sign a new contract. He was making $780,000 a year, but WCW Executive Vice President Jim Herd was offering half of that to Flair to stay with the company. He refused, and it was what was made known that he was heading for the WWF, taking the title with him. As well as being the WCW champion, he was also the NWA champion, and it was the NWA Big Gold Belt that he was keeping a hold of. Anyone that won the NWA World Championship was required to put down $25,000 deposit so that the NWA could be confident the champ wouldn't suddenly take it to another company. In exchange, the deposit plus any interest occurred over the title reign would be returned to them when they lost the title. Therefore, Flair said the belt technically belonged to him, so he mailed it to Vince McMahon, and it began to be shown on WWF TV by Bobby the Brain Heenan, teasing the arrival of the Nature Boy. He became a free agent on August 1st and made his television debut in September.
Okay, so NWA made them deposit money to be a champion.
It sounds like it, yes.
That's shady as fuck.
I mean,
I
it's
know.
shady, but
get it.
it makes sense.
I get it,
when you
but
have
it's shady.
somebody like Ric Flair.
Yeah, I get it, but it's fucking shady.
1985, ECW Hardcore Heaven took place at the ECW Arena in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. On the show, Snot Dudley and Dudley Dudley defeated the Pitbulls number 1 and 2. Dino Sendoff and Donnie Allen fought Chad Austin and the Broad Street Bully to a no contest. Hack Myers defeated Big Melee. Too Cold Scorpio defeated Taz. Raven and Stevie Richards defeated Tommy Dreamer and Luna Vachon to retain the ECW World Tag Team Championships. In a Taipei death match, Axel Rotten defeated Ian Rotten.
Is that? I think that's the glass match, or where they put the glass on their hands match.
Ooh, yeah.
So they had taped gloves with the tape on the outside, and they dipped their fists in glass. I think it's like one of the most hardcore matches they've ever done. And it wasn't like gimmicked glass; it was legitimate glass.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that's ECW there. The Sandman retained the ECW World Heavyweight Championship against Cactus Jack. The Public Enemy, Rocco Rock and Johnny Grunge, defeated the Gangstas of New Jack and Mustafa Saeed. Oh, okay. I guess that's your card there. Okay. 1998, at an OVW taping in Jeffersonville, Indiana, Cousin Otter and Jebediah Blackhawk defeated Dave the Rave and Juan Hurtado by forfeit to win the OVW Southern Tag Team titles, due to Dave the Rave not even showing up for the match. Oh, that's okay. 1999, WWF announced on their website that they signed Chris Jericho to a multi-year deal, and he would go on to make his debut the next month by interrupting a promo by The Rock.
Wait, so that was public knowledge before he debuted?
I believe so. Well, that's why the crowd was, had the signs ready for him. The following.
Wow, I didn't know that. What the fuck?
Yeah, yeah. The internet was just picking up at that time. 2000, IWA MS Heroes Hurt and Hot Wax took place in Charlestown, Indiana. In the main event of the show, Roland Hard defeated Ian Rotten in a 4 Corners of Pain match to win the heavyweight title of that brand. 2001, 3 title changes changed hands at WXW Dead End in Essen, Germany. Firstly, Sigmasta Rappo and Thomas Blade defeated Aries and Double C to become the World Tag Team Champions. Crazy Sexy Mike beat German Kid for the High Flying Trophy title, and later in the show, Mad Cow defeated Chris the Bambi Killer to win the heavyweight championship of that brand. Oh boy. 2002, the match itself, a Monday Night Raw, was held in Manchester, New Hampshire. The main event saw The Undertaker retain the undisputed championship in a ladder match against Jeff Hardy. The end of the match came about when The Undertaker chokeslammed Hardy off the top of the ladder and pulled down the title to get the win. After the match, Jeff wouldn't stay down, and so Taker got back in the ring and hit him with the last right powerbomb. As he rode his motorbike up the map, Hardy got on the mic and said, "You haven't broken me. I'm still standing." This prompted the dead man to get back in the ring once more, but instead of beating Hardy again, he raised his hand as a respect.
I'm still standing.
I think that's one of the best ladder matches of all time, honestly.
It definitely was. And then 10 years later, in the lead up to Raw's 1000 show, this match would have been voted as the 5th best in Monday Night Raw history.
I think RVD and
Eddie?
Eddie is like one of the best I've ever seen.
Yeah, that was one of my favorites. Yeah, I love that one. I was in Canada.
Was that on Raw?
I think
it was
so.
on Raw, yes. Yeah,
wow.
That was, yeah. They had a fan interfere in that match. I remember and Eddie had to beat him.
Wait, it was a legitimate fan?
Yeah.
It was a legitimate fan, yes. It was an actual fan and it was a drunken Canadian from Edmonton.
Yeah, like Eddie was halfway up the ladder and the fan came in and pushed it down.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And Eddie was like, "Duh," and then got one punch on him and all that. It was kind of cool. 2003, at a taping of Smackdown in Rochester, New York, the world's greatest tag team, Shelton Benjamin and Charlie Haas, defeated Eddie Guerrero and Tajiri to become the tag team champions.
One of the greatest wrestling theme songs of all time.
That's right. I remember you saying that there. And then if you recall, that actually was the start of Eddie Guerrero's brief heel turn on Tajiri there before becoming face again. 2004, DDT audience was held in the Korakuen Hall in Tokyo, Japan. The DDT Iron Man heavy metal title changed hands when Kenshin defeated Tatsuko Dino, and in the main event of the show, Ryuji Ito and Senshiro Tagaki beat Gentaro and Takashi Sasaki to win the KOD tag team titles. Drop a change, folks. I know I'm going to hear it at some point.
Been doing it.
Okay, good. Thank you. You're going to be keeping on. You're going to do this probably for the whole that segment here. Oh well, the next few ones after. Day 2 of 2007. Day 2 of One PW Know Your Enemy was held in Doncaster, England. On the show, the 1 PW openweight title was won by James Wallace when he defeated Pac, aka Adrian Neville. 2012, drop the change again. At the AGPW and New Japan Wrestling 40th Anniversary Pro Wrestling Love in Ryugoku from the new Sumo Hall in Tokyo, Japan, Akibono and Ryota Hama defeated Daisuke Sakamoto and Yuji Okabayashi to win the All Asia Tag Team titles.
There's a lot of robots in that match.
Yeah. You just took the words right out of my mouth. 2012, A1W Absolution 8 was held at Turner's Hall in Cleveland, Ohio. 3 title changes changed hands on the show, which were Kodama and Obariyaran outlasted Flip Kendrick and Lewis London, and Josh Prohibition and Matt Cross in a 3-way tag team match to become the tag team champions. BJ Whitmer beat Bobby Beverly to win the Intense Championship. And in the main event, Tim Donst won a 4-way match against Eric Ryan, Johnny Gargano, and Shima Zion to become the absolute champion of that brand.
So it wasn't like the Intense Champion and then slightly more Intense Champion?
Yeah, I know, right? That would have made a
opportunity.
lot more sense.
The most intense champion?
Right? That kind of
Donald Trump's face on it? Boss.
2015 in the main event of ZZW Dojo Wars in 34 in Blackwood, New Jersey, Frankie Pickard defeated Joe Gacy for the CZW Wired Television title.
Fucking
That should
hate
show you how
CZW.
long. That should show you how long he's been competing. That's cool. That's cool. On 2017, on day 1 of New Japan Wrestling G1 Special in USA in Long Beach, California, Hanson and Raymond Rowe, aka the Viking Raiders, won a no disqualification tag team match against the Gorillas of Destiny of Tama and Tangaloa to win the IWGP World Tag Team titles.
The best in the world, the fucking GOAT.
Yes, Mr. Tangaloa there, absolutely. Same year in Cologne, Germany, David Starr won a 3-way match against Angelico and Emil Sitachi to become the WXW Shotgun Champion. Same year, Hog Never Trust a Snake was held at the Queensboro Elks Lodge in Elmhurst, New York. The New York Wrecking Crew of Smooth Blackman and Chris Seaton won the tag team titles, the vacant ones. And in the main event, Anthony Gangong defeated the Hog Crown Jewel champion Leo Rush in a title for title match to win both titles. Wow, a lot of things happened in 2017. Same year, 4 titles changed hands at OVW Saturday Night Special Anarchy in Louisville, Kentucky. David Lee Lorenzo III outlasted both Jay Dawson and Stuart Miles in a triple threat match to win the OVW television title. But in the very next match, he lost the title to Big Zoe. Mickey Knuckles defeated Callie in a hardcore match to win the OVW women's title. And in the main event, Adam Revolver pinned Big John to become the OVW heavyweight champion.
Right.
Okay. 2018, IWA MS were still breathing in Memphis, Indiana. Logan James defeated Jack Lander to win the junior heavyweight title of that brand. Same year, on day 2 of New Japan Wrestling Rev Pro Strong Style Evolved UK in Manchester, England, Minoru Suzuki beat Tomohiro Ishii to become the Rev Pro British Heavyweight Champion. And 2020, night 1 of NXT Great American Bash was held at the Full Sail University in Winter Park, Florida. On the show, Tegan Knox outlasted Candice LeRae, Dakota Kai, and Mia Yim in a fatal 4-way elimination match to become the #1 contender for the Women's Championship. Timothy Thatcher defeated Oni Lorcan by submission. Rhea Ripley defeated Aaliyah Maron and Robert Stone by submission in an intergender handicap match, making them both tap out at the same time. Dexter Loomis defeated Roderick Strong with a silent submission in a strap match.
Jesus.
And Io Shirai defeated Sasha Banks by pinfall after hitting her with the moonsault. Day 2. Yeah. Okay. Night 2 of the Great American Bash was also taped at the Full Sail University in Winter Park, Florida, which would air on July the 8th. The show featured the first match was a dark match, so I'm gonna skip that one. But we had Candice LeRae defeating Mia Yim in a street fight. Bronson Reed defeated Tony Nese after hitting him with the tsunami to get the pin. Johnny Gargano defeated Isaiah Swerve Scott. Legado del Fantasma, Santos Escobar, Joaquin Wild, and Raul Mendoza, aka Cruz del Toro, defeated Drake Maverick and Brazongo in a 6-man tag team match, with Escobar getting the pin on Maverick.
Most random booking I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah. Mercedes Martinez defeated Santana Garrett in less than 3 minutes. And
Bro, I forgot all about Mercedes Martinez.
She's a beast.
She's a beast, man. Yeah, it's unfortunate she got wasted, sadly. And in the main event, NXT North American champion poor Keith Lee defeated NXT champion Adam Cole in a winner-takes-all match to become a double champion, ending Adam Cole's reign of 403 days as NXT champion. There we go. Same year, night 1 of AEW Dynashit Flyer Fest was held at Daly's Place in Jacksonville, Florida.
What's up, Will?
What's that?
Will said, yo.
Oh, hey, Will, what's up? It was originally supposed to take place at Wembley Arena in London, England, but had to change locations due to the COVID pandemic. You should have just went there anyways because of that. But anyways, on the show, Luke Perry's son and the dinosaur with the short guy there defeated MJF and where's Wardlow, with the Dino Boy getting the pin on Wardlow. Hikaru Shida defeated Penelope Ford to retain the AEW Women's Championship.
Jesus Christ. Penelope Ford has been in the same vortex booking the entire time. Wow.
She's still in it.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
It's fucking sad.
The King, Raheem Rhodes, retained the AEW Championship against Jake Hager.
Hold on. You mean this one?
Yes, the King. Thank you. The Buried Private Party defeated the Inner Circle of Santana or Ortiz. Oh, great. After hitting the gin and juice and getting the pin. Kenny Omega and Hank Dick Adam Page defeated the Best Friends of Chuck Taylor and Trent to retain the AEW Tag Team titles. What kind of a card is that?
Oh, man.
But anyways, birthdays for July 1st, Casey Spinelli, 1985. Chessman, 1975, and Abismo Negro, 1971. So
that's pretty racist.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say that. That's when I read the name. I was like, okay. Anyways, now we have today, and we have a special presentation of Mr. William Goldberg for today. We will present that at some point here, but we'll start in 1985 at a house show in Baltimore, Maryland. Tito Santana, Arriba, defeated Greg Valentine inside a steel cage to win the Intercontinental Championship for a second time. This was also the first time a WWF Championship had changed hands inside a steel cage match. Well, there you go. That's an interesting fact there. Same year, in Charlotte, North Carolina, NWA presented the first ever Great American Bash on the show. Jimmy Valiant defeated Paul Jones in a dog collar match. Manny Fernandez, Sam Houston, and Buzz Tyler defeated Billy Graham, Conga the Barbarian, and Abdullah the Butcher in a 6-person tag team match. Ron Bass fought Buddy Landale to a draw. Ole and Arn Anderson retained the NWA Tag Team Championships from Buzz Sawyer and Dick Slater. The team of Crusher Khrushchev and Ivan Koloff fought the Road Warriors of Hawk and Animal to a double disqualification in a NWA-AWA World Tag Team Title Unification match. Magnum TA defeated Kamala by disqualification to retain the NWA United States Championship. Ric Flair defeated Nikolov to retain the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. And if you be the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes defeated Tully Blanchard in a steel cage match to win the NWA World Television Championship. With the win, Rhodes gained the services of Baby Doll for 30 days, which started her face turn as she became a full-time valet for Rhodes and his partner, Magnum TA.
Wait. Do that Dusty Rhodes impersonation again.
Yeah, if you will, the American dream, that the rules, if you will.
Pretty good.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
great.
1997 War 5th anniversary show was held at the new Sumo Hall in Japan. Drop the change. Ryogoku Kokogigan in Tokyo, Japan. On the show, Koki Kitahara, Lance Storm, Nobutaka Araya, I guess that's a team, defeated the team of Koji Kitao, Nobukazu Harai, and Tommy Dreamer to win the War 6-man tag team titles. That brand. Same year, once again, drop the change. On day 12 of New Japan's Summer Struggle in Sapporo, Japan, El Samurai became the new AJ Crown champion after beating Jushin Thunder Liger. Oh, that's one of my favorite Japanese superstars.
Yes.
The same year, In Your House 16 Canadian Stampede was held in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, in front of 12,151 fans, and will go on to be named the best major wrestling card of 1997, as voted. No, I'm not even reading that part. And on the pay-per-view, in the free-for-all match, the Godwins defeated the Blackjacks, which is Blackjack Bradshaw and Blackjack Wyndham, aka Barry Windham and John Bradshaw Layfield. Mankind and Hunter Hearst Helmsley fought to a double countout. The Great Sasuke and defeated Taka Michinoku with a Tiger Suplex to get the pin. This was the WWF debut for both wrestlers. The Undertaker defeated Vader to retain the WWF Championship, with Taker hitting Vader with a chokeslam and a tombstone. And in the main event, the Hart Foundation of Bret and
You picked
Owen.
that big bitch up for a tombstone? That's incredible.
He must have. Yeah, he did. Oh, yes, he did. Yes.
Christ.
Yeah. It's pretty strong there. And in the main event, the Hart Foundation of Bret and Owen Hart, Jim Neidhart, Davey Boy Smith, and Brian Pillman defeated Team USA of Steve Austin, Ken Shamrock, Goldust, and the Legion of Doom, with Owen Hart getting the roll-up pin on Austin.
Nice.
Remember that?
Yes, yeah, that's when he broke his neck. Yeah.
No, the SummerSlam, the following.
Oh yeah, okay.
That's right. Yeah, they had the match there. 1998, WCW Monday Nitro was held at the Georgia Dome in Atlanta, Georgia, in front of over 41,000 fans. That was for a TV show. Remember, unbelievable. Yeah. In the main event and in his hometown, United States champion Goldberg pinned Brother clean in the middle of the ring following a spear and a jackhammer to become the WCW World Heavyweight Champion and extend his legendary unbeaten streak before he got the taser. So,
and to this day, I
beaten by
think
a
it's
taser.
arguably one of, if not the loudest reaction I've ever heard for a title change.
Yep, I was about to say.
That and the Mankind title change was pretty loud too.
Yeah, that one was pretty loud. I feel like the Seth Rollins at WrestleMania one was pretty loud too.
Oh yeah, that one was pretty. Yeah, that was pretty solid too. Yeah, absolutely. 2004, at a taping of Smackdown in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, Billy Kidman and Paul London defeated the Dudley Boys to win the WWE Tag Team Championships. I do remember that one. Yeah,
they're one of my favorite tag teams of all time.
Yeah, they had a good rivalry too. I loved I said it before. I loved when Kidman was that heel when he couldn't do the shooting star press. That was pretty cool. Yeah. At 2007, at the OVW Summer Sizzler Series show at Six Flags Kentucky Kingdom in Louisville, Kentucky, I guess Cody he's going by Cody Reynolds here, but Cody Rahim beat Sean Spears to take the OVW Television Championship. Same year, APW Awa Bombayi 4 in Rongai Laughs. Then So Shall Shin Kiba was held at the Shin Kiba First Ring, Tokyo, Japan. In the opening match of the show, Kiku Ango outlasted both Josh Kentaro and Muscle Lesnar in a three-way match to win the NGF Heavyweight Championship. Why was it Muscle Lesnar? It almost sounds like it's like their alter egos or something like that with these names. I don't know. Weird. Day one of New Japan Wrestling 35th Anniversary Tour in Circuit 07, New Japan Seoul. CTU Farewell Tour took place in the Korakuen Hall in Tokyo, Japan. Ryosuke Taguchi became the new IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion when he defeated Minoru Suzuki. Guess why not say Minoru, but we know it's Minoru Suzuki. 2008, two titles changed hands at PWGP Life during wartime at the American Legion Post 308 in Reseda, California. Firstly, Jimmy Jacobs and Tyler Black took the PWGP Tag Team titles from El Generico and Roderick Strong. And then in the main event, Chris Hero beat Human Tornado in a guerrilla warfare steel cage match to become the PWG champion.
I never understood the
2000
Chris Hero hype.
The Chris Hero. That's wait, is Chris Hero? That's
Cassius.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Cassius.
Yeah,
He was
so
wait. Yeah.
he was good for a big man. But I mean, we've seen so many.
That's what's funny is he wasn't always a big man.
You're not wrong.
Yeah. 2012 AWS United Forces 4 was held at the Knights of Columbus Hall in Covina, California. On the show, what a name, Alcatraz beat Johnny Goodtime for the heavyweight champion.
What a name!
And in the main, I know. And in the main event, Joey Ryan, oh great, defeated both Mike Mazzei and Brandon Gatson in a triple threat match to win the EWF Heavyweight Championship. What did he use? Baby oil on that? Fucking.
He probably also it led to him winning the biggest award, and that's child predator or being a predator. Nice.
What a freaking idiot. 2013 at APW Gym Wars in Hayward, California, Drake Younger pinned Timothy Thatcher to become the worldwide internet title holder of that brand. 2018 APWPWR King of Indies 2018 was held at the Pacelli Gym in Daly City, California. Reno Scum, what a name. Adam, which is a team of Adam Thorstow and Luster the Legend, defeated the Reno over everything, Carl Fredericks and Stryker to take the APW Tag Team Championship.
Carl Fredericks is Eddie Thorpe, by the way.
No wonder. Fucking idiot. Next. At Impact ROW Deep Impact held at the World Gym Arena in Texas City, Texas, Brendan Steen won a 12-way elimination scramble match to become the Reality of Wrestling champion. Oh, Reality of Wrestling. There we go. Reality of Wrestling television champion, and also in the match where Aiden Cristiano, Brian Keith, Cameron Cole, Dave Christ, Ethan Page, Isaiah, Jake Christ, Josh Alexander, Madman Fulton, Will Lockhart, and Willie Mack. Okay, I do remember some of these.
Willie Mack's not bad. He's okay.
Yeah, he's good for a big guy. We talk about big guys. He's not bad for a big guy. Yeah, former X Division.
He's with what's his face in Ring of Honor right now, right? Shane guy.
I think so. Yeah, I think he was hired with a Ring of Honor there, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, you may be right there. Yeah. Same year, MLW Kings of Coliseum took place at the Cicerco Stadium in Chicago, Illinois. Jacob Fatu, nice, defeated Tom Lawler to win the World Heavyweight title of that brand. And later in the show, the Dynasty, MJF of the Dynasty, yeah, right, and Richard Holiday beat the Hart Foundation, oh, come on, Brian Pillman Jr. and Teddy Hart for the tag team titles in a ladder match. And finally, in the same year, Avery Taylor defeated Natalia Markov, another Maron, at ACW WWN Pride in Newport Richey, Florida, to become the new ACW Women's Champion. And notable birthdays, oh God. 1988,
that's
Mr.
where I'm from.
What?
Avery Taylor's JC Jane.
Oh, the champ. All right, nice. Okay, very cool. 1988, Mitch Bennett. Lars Sullivan. 1988, great. 1974, Buffalo, and 1964, Leatherface, and 1914, the original Vincent McMahon. So Vincent J. McMahon, 1914.
Yeah,
and
not the Predator. Got it.
No, not the Predator. No.
You're on mute, Sean.
I said, let's talk about Teddy Hart for a second. How much of a fucking problem he was. Jesus Christ. I watched a documentary about him, and it didn't make my opinion of him any better.
Is that the guy that was
guy that was what?
Was that the guy that was at the show you were at?
No. Teddy Hart is he trained. I don't know who he's related to, but he trained in the Hart Dungeon. He signed with WWE way like early 2000s. Like he was one of the youngest signees in WWE, and
they fired him just because he had zero personality whatsoever. And then
Did he ever wrestle on television? I don't remember ever seeing him on television.
He never wrestled. He never wrestled in WWE. No.
no. And then he runs a wrestling school in Canada, and he's just a fucking mess, like absolute mess. Is Teddy an actual blood relative of the Harts? I believe so, but I believe he's
his father is BJ Ennis.
Anus.
Ennis.
Anus.
He's married to Georgia Hart, who is the daughter of Stu and Helen Hart.
Okay, that's that. Okay, yeah, there it is. That clears it up a little bit. But still,
he's married through the family.
Yeah. Teddy Hart's a fucking problem. But anyways, yeah, we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna move on to Monday Night Raw, live from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. It went on early. It went on 6. I don't remember why. Oh, it's because they're
Double taping. They
Yeah.
were doing double taping. Yeah.
Yeah, they're recording SmackDown. So, Raw opens up with Rhea coming out to the ring, pretty much saying that she wants to move on and she wants, to move on to bigger and better things. And Io comes out and Io challenges her for a match at Evolution. So we're going to be getting Io and Rhea at Evolution. I don't know how to feel about this. I see a lot of.
I think it's going to be a great match.
Uh-huh.
I don't think Rhea's winning. I think Io is going to retain.
You think it's going to be a tweak to a heel turn?
I don't know about a heel turn, but
Cleaner.
I think Io retaining would be the smart move here, because if Rhea goes over, it's just going to reaffirm my point about Rhea. And she doesn't need to be champion at all times. I got into an argument with a friend the other day about Charlotte winning the Rumble. I said, bro, there was no bigger match than Charlotte versus Tiffany Stratton. Regardless how you feel about the match at WrestleMania, that was meant to be as scrappy as it was. Was it a clean match? No.
Nope.
But the match served its purpose. Tiffany went over. You cannot tell me that Liv or whoever else you had as your pick to winning that Rumble versus Tiffany Stratton would have been bigger than Charlotte versus Tiffany. Absolutely fucking nobody.
No. I mean, when I seeing as Liv is out, and I think that she'll be back by the Rumble, I wouldn't mind seeing her win the Rumble.
Highlight that comment for me really quick. So I actually want to point this out because I said the same thing about Britt Baker. Now, Britt has her problems. I have many, 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 many dislikes about her as a person. I don't appreciate her comments about the PC. I think she is severely ignorant as a wrestling talent. A very smart person. Obviously, she's a fucking dentist.
Yeah.
And I think her comments regarding Dave Meltzer, I don't like that she glazes Dave Meltzer. That being said, Tony Khan created the ego of Britt Baker.
Yep.
Tony Khan fed that ego. Vince McMahon created the ego of Charlotte Flair and fed her that ego every single time she was injected into a storyline. Everybody that says they hate Charlotte is because of Vince McMahon. You cannot convince me otherwise.
I agree. I think
her recent interview about saying that she hated that triple threat match at WrestleMania, and that says so much to me about her as a person, because she didn't want to be either put into that match or just didn't like the setup or build of that match. Because Vince doesn't know when to say when it comes to injecting talent that don't need to be in a fucking storyline.
Yeah, there was no need for her to be in that WrestleMania storyline, except for the fact that it was the first time women would main event WrestleMania, and she needed. I guess maybe she was supposed to be in there from the get. Honestly, I think that the Charlotte hate it's too much. Honestly, Will also says it's kind of like how Vince overpushed Roman that 1 year type of scenario. Yes, absolutely.
So
When
really, 2015,
Mhm.
Roman Reigns was involved in 5 different storylines at once. Braun Strowman, FTR, whoever was champion at the time, the mid-card scene, and whoever else he was feuding with at the same fucking time. Oh, it was Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar he was also feuding with. Vince overpushed the living shit out of Roman Reigns. You can say that the greatest thing he ever did was turn Roman heel, creating the tribal chief, and he kicked the dead horse on that because I am at the point of being so overly fatigued with the bloodline as a whole. Like, now we're going to drag out this Jacob Fatu and Solo feud even more. Roman Reigns still hasn't shown up to work since WrestleMania. People are shitting on Seth Rollins because of, whatever reason, because Roman Reigns isn't there. Again, Vince has ruined so many stars, Charlotte being one of them.
To top that off, you talked about the feuds that Roman was in that 1 year. Currently, right now, Seth is in so many fucking feuds, it's ridiculous. Like, it's hard to keep, and like, I understand what you might say, but the fact he's in one with CM Punk, he's in one with LA Knight, and then he's got one with
Penta.
He's got Sammy, and then he's got so many, right? And like, at this point, it's like you need to drop some of these feuds and focus on one to elevate your character, your stable that still doesn't have a fucking name, still doesn't have a goddamn theme song behind it.
So here's the difference that I see between what you're saying about Seth and what I said about Roman.
Yeah.
Roman was constantly on TV with these guys throughout the entire show. Rollins, the Punk thing, that's going to be stretched out for as long as they can make money from it.
Yeah.
And I would argue to say that the end goal is WrestleMania, just them two. That's what I would do, and I think it should be for a title.
Yep.
The Penta situation comes from him warning Penta to stay out of his business.
Yep.
So I don't look at Penta being in a program with Seth more as he's in a program with Braun, who I guess is directly to Seth. Same with Bronson. Bronson is in a program with Jay. I don't think that leads to Seth. And then Sammy's with Cross, so Sammy's all over the fucking place too.
Yeah.
I think the problem with Seth is their presentation of Seth still being the same Seth that he was before Paul Heyman joined his side. He's still doing the singing. He's still dressing ridiculous. Still has the same theme song.
Yeah.
I love the theme song. I love Seth Rollins. I'm a huge Seth Rollins fan.
Yeah.
But at some point, if you're going to turn somebody heel or at least try to convince me that somebody's a heel, Braun Strowman still gets louder reactions than most of that roster.
Yeah.
Seth Rollins, the entire fucking arena sings his goddamn song.
Yeah.
Like,
absolutely.
And the thing about Rollins is he's smart and he can get that entire audience to boo the fuck out of him. But once that song plays, everybody's singing his song again.
Yeah.
So I think it's just a matter of when internet fans are going to the fucking arenas and the line between what a heel is used to be and what a heel is now, it's almost kind of like we're in the NWO phase of wrestling again, where it's cool to be a heel. It's cool to be a bad guy.
Yeah, and I completely agree. There's really no consistency or continuity of understanding when it comes to the IWC, really, honestly. But next, we had a backstage segment where Dom flashed the doctor's note and said, "Hey, I'm not cleared," and said, "Do you want to get your glasses to look at this?" And
He bust out the fucking glasses, bro. I was dying.
right, he pulled out the glasses and he's like, "Yep, that's a doctor's note." And he handed it back to him. He said, "But once you're clear, you and I are going to go at it." And as he's turning away, walking away, Dom says, Dom says, I don't need a damn doctor's note to beat you. And then he was like, what'd you say? And he's like, doctor's note, doctor's note.
I'm not touching you.
Right. It's fucking funny. Next, we had the World Tag Team Championship match, New Day versus Judgment Day.
Fan-fucking-tastic.
And look, before I get into that match, I've been playing 2K25 for a hot minute now, and I never played with JD McDonough. And he is possibly one of my favorite fucking people to play with. Because he's so versatile.
So I want to say this about JD, and I've been saying it since NXT UK. JD McDonough, or whatever the fuck you want to call him, Jordan Devlin, is arguably bell to bell one of the greatest in-ring guys they have on that roster.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem with him, and it's really a small underlying problem, before the Judgment Day, he had zero personality. His personality was, I was trained by Finn Balor.
Mm-hmm.
And what did NXT try to do? They tried to create this whole, he targets victims' ligaments and fucking bones and bullshit. And try to cut promos holding an x-ray up of, I can bend your arm this way and snap it in 3 pieces.
Yeah.
The thing with JD, man, you just got to let him be him fucking self. And that's what they're doing with Judgment Day. And I would argue to say his injury was a blessing in disguise. Because now people fucking love him and are seeing his worth.
Absolutely. And you know what's crazy is that Judgment Day was getting cheered. That shit blew me the fuck away. I mean, they were facing New Day, yeah. You had 2 heel teams going. But, like, Finn was getting cheered. JD was getting cheered.
The guy who I've always found it really interesting how the WWE fans react to him, because even when he was a heel, I think the only crowd that had ever treated him like a genuine heel was the NXT crowd, the black and gold NXT crowd, or the pandemic NXT crowd. Because when he turned on, remind me, JR, who did he kick in the face? Gargano, yeah.
Gargano,
when he kicked Gargano in the face, everybody was in shock that he turned heel. And then the week after that, he cut a promo talking shit about the Fiend. And he got the cool guy heel. But it's interesting to see what difference a crowd size can make in how a heel is treated.
Absolutely. I think what blows me away about this match is, like, I felt that it was very unpredictable. Or they swerved us, really. Because I thought New Day was going to retain. I really thought that they were going to move in the direction of Judgment Day breaking up. And this would have been the tipping point where they broke up.
You know where I think that pivot came from? Liv Morgan getting injured.
Yep. If Liv hadn't gotten injured, it would have been done. Yep. But yeah, Judgment Day picked up the win. Dude, that tag JD did, and he looked at Finn and was like, do it. And he fucking grabbed him and pulled old boy down in that. Jesus. I still love that move where he puts him inside. Well, no, he puts him in a chokehold, and then Finn does the coup de grace off the top.
Yeah. You know what it reminds me of? America's Most Wanted, when they did the death sentence, where he would hold him down, and then James Storm did the leg drop onto him. Yeah, it's similar like that. Yeah, but congratulations, Finn is a champion again. So good for him. And then
did you see him clap that member of the IWC when they were complaining about it?
Yeah.
Dave, whatever, that he isn't a world champion. He's like, I guess the tag champion doesn't count as a championship anymore.
Yeah.
And also New Day did the Midnight Hour, the move that Biggie and Xavier used to do. That shit was like, I was like, oh.
Did you see Big E's response to them losing?
Yeah, he's like, oh, what a shame.
And so Bleacher Report, some of the top moments or takeaways from here. They said Woods is in the best shape of his career, and he's absolutely jacked, which is no further from the truth. They said Balor has more. Oh, Corey Graves says Balor has more abs than I have fingers.
I love the beginning as well when Kofi was offering him a bread because he's not having any carbs. He's like, I'm giving you a bread. I'm giving you a peace offering.
Can I drop not really an F-bomb, but kind of like an annoyance bomb about the Corey Graves thing.
Oh, I hate Corey Graves. Go for it.
So I respect Corey. I like Corey a lot as a person, as an announcer, as a talent when he was still wrestling. I don't like how the IWC went from shitting on him every single fucking week, saying that he was the worst announcer we've ever had, to... Is there an echo? Good?
Right.
Okay. To all of a sudden fuck Pat McAfee for whatever reason.
It's the IWEC. You know they're gonna always be bipolar on it.
Yeah, and you know what? When I saw Pat talk about it and just see how kind of I don't think he'll admit it, but it kind of came off as like heartbroken that people are shitting on him so hard.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, he's a fan. Even Michael Cole says he's not an announcer, he's a fan.
Yep.
And every reaction that he gives on that microphone is genuine, not scripted. He doesn't know what's going on. He doesn't want to know what's going on. Isn't that what we as wrestling fans want?
Yep.
Unpredictability and to enjoy.
Yep. Like I said, it's the IWC. There, you don't expect them to be consistent with their emotions or with their, facts and all that such. So I barely listen to them. Like I said, I barely listen to them nowadays, and literally, I think a lot of people should really just avoid even trying to interact with any of them. It's not good for your mental capacity.
Honestly. I just wanted to throw that out there.
Yeah,
very frustrating.
Love when Pat's dancing on the table to Jay's theme. Yeah, so
yes,
bring life to the show.
I'm sure he's gonna come. I'm sure he'll probably be back for like Saturday Night Main Event. Probably. I don't think he'll miss that. Yeah.
So we got backstage segments. We got Bayley, the announcement of Bayley versus Lyra Valkyria. And the one thing that I noticed is Lyra is really much kind of taking the role that Becky is taking.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like she's starting to gravitate in that direction. Next, we had a video package of Goldberg in his match against Gunther at Saturday Night Main Event.
Bro, that video package was fucking awesome.
It was fire.
It was dominated by 3 Days Grace.
Yep.
And then we have an actual confirmation that Chad Gable was injured and he's going to be out. And he told no live, it's looking nice. Respectfully. But Chad Gable told the Queen Brothers and Ivy, keep up, do good work essentially, and said, listen to Ivy. And in the background, we had Ludwig Kaiser, and he was just like kind of looking, and that's going to set up for later. But we had Rusev and Sheamus. God damn. Okay, look. I'm gonna give you a second to say something because I know how you feel about Rusev.
No, retract all of my negative thoughts about that man.
All right,
every single one.
So now you understand what I was saying.
100%. No. It's not that I didn't understand. It's the promo that he came in with. I don't want to hear about AEW anymore.
Yeah,
it's kind of like the reporters asking AEW questions to Jade Cargill. I'm fucking over it. Yeah. That's all that was.
Look, that match was everything that I wanted.
And
more. Mm-hmm. Yes. That match was two big meaty men slapping man meat, respectfully, and beating the absolute dog shit out of each other. If you listen to Sheamus's episode of Chris Van Vliet, this is exactly how he operates and what he wants out of his matches. Mm-hmm. Is just the both of them kicking the shit out of each other, and they did.
You know what it reminded me of, and I know the dude is like significantly smaller than what Rusev is, but it reminded me of the Donnybrook match with Pete Dunne.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I think, and I'm really annoyed that Pete Dunne has been taken off of TV. Same with Tyler Bate. I don't like how they're both off of TV.
Yeah,
I can see it with them. It's like it's honestly, I don't know where you're gonna go with those two, honestly, especially because you just literally just united them again.
Yeah.
But it's just like with Tyler Bate, it's like it's very limited.
You know what I think it is with Tyler? I think him coming back from such a big injury, being one of the biggest factors of not wanting to put him on main television again yet. I think Tyler is just at that age and just has always kind of been at that really small venue mentality when it comes to his wrestling that it doesn't catch on with casual North American fans. Pete can do a lot to attract that crowd, and that's what makes Pete Dunne so great. But Tyler, I feel it's almost the fear I have with Ilya, except the difference between him and Ilya is Ilya has a better presentation than Pete does.
Yeah.
I agree. But we saw the end of the match was Rusev exposed the bolt that holds the turnbuckles together and pulled Sheamus in, which caused a chest collision thing. And then Rusev hit him with the Machka kick, dude. And like
that was a stiff ass kick.
It was, and it's so good and it's so refreshing. I was talking to somebody. I think I was talking to one of my friends, Nick, about this, and I was saying it's so refreshing to see finishing move getting the finish. Machka kick is one of those.
I think what makes his Machka kick special is it doesn't look like your typical super kick, and I genuinely, and you know what match I just rewatched recently? Yesterday, I actually rewatched it. Was Adam Cole and MJF, and this is when they were super over. And when I was watching the match,
my condolences. You're watching
MJF. I'll get to agreeing on that part of why I regretted it afterwards. So the only positive out of that entire match I will give them is after the bell was rang, when they hugged and, oh, you didn't hit me because you're my friend, whatever. We all know how that whole thing ended up shitting the bed anyway.
Yeah.
It was one of the most overbooked pieces of shit I've ever watched in my life.
Yeah.
And, you know, Adam Cole was such a respected talent when he was in NXT. And when he was wrestling in Wembley in front of all those fans, the dude was working like he was in NXT again. Thigh slap after thigh slap after thigh slap. And it's like, dog, this is why you're never going to be a world champion. You're working so fucking indie, it's stupid.
Yeah.
And like, I understand that most of the indie talent that are on the fucking roster are thigh slappers. But when you make it look so fucking obvious, it looks so bad. And that's what's so good about Rusev's kick is it doesn't look so obvious when he's hitting it because you're not focused on him doing this. You're focused on where that kick lands.
Yep.
And that's what made that last one look so fucking good.
Absolutely. I will say on the Adam Cole thing, like in WWE, I think that personally, his best match that I've ever seen him in is not against Johnny Gargano. I think that was overproduced piece of shit too, with far too many fucking run-ins. But I personally think his best match was on SmackDown against Daniel Bryan, when everybody was coming back from Saudi Arabia and couldn't make the show, and so they called up NXT. Honestly, one of the best matches. It was so fucking fluid, so good. There was no indie bullshit happening. Like literally, just two dudes, fucking each other up.
I think the way Triple H sold it was a lot better than the match itself. I remember not really caring for it.
Yeah.
I think my favorite match he ever had was probably with Andrade.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Oh wait, no. I'm sorry. Fucking Aleister Black.
Ah, yeah.
Because we got that nasty ass super kick from the moonsault.
Yeah. So next we had a backstage segment where Balor was talking to Pierce and Nick Aldis about letting Raquel and Roxanne be a tag team to do the championships. I'm really glad that they brought that back because they did that for Bianca and
Yeah, I'm
and
glad that I figured they were going to do that. So I'm glad they did that for
yeah,
Roxy.
and so Nick Aldis was like, sure, yeah, that's fine, but they're gonna have to prove themselves at Evolution, where they're gonna face a team from Raw, a team from SmackDown, a team from NXT. And on SmackDown, we'll find out who that first team is. That's entering into that, but really good segment, and it's really cool to see kind of like a reformation of Judgment Day now, where they're starting to bring them together. Next, we had a backstage segment where the Creeds were standing there, and our American maid was standing there talking, and Ivy said she's going to try and get to Evolution by any means necessary. And then you seen El Grande, fucking super tall Americano. Yeah. Does WWE still do bragging rights? No, they haven't done it. And
it's called Survivor Series.
Called Survivor Series. And broad-chested, super tall American, El Grande Americano, El Super Grande. They should call him El Super Grande Americano.
This is like Pokemon evolution. It's like Charmander when it evolved into Charmeleon with the one.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
You know what's funny? I had a feeling this was going to happen when I saw Kaiser in the background for those last few weeks. I had the feeling it would be something to do with the El Grande character, and especially when after Chad got injured, it's like, oh shit.
Well, if you remember when Kathy was interviewing Gable months ago, and that person got arrested, I think Kaiser was the plan the entire time.
Ooh.
Because if you remember, there was, I don't remember what match it was. I want to say, was it WrestleMania? I don't think it was Chad wrestling. It was a obviously taller guy in that spot. Because remember, people were saying, "Oh, he doesn't have the same tattoo as Gable." I think that was Kaiser.
Yeah, I mean,
in what match? In WrestleMania? No,
I don't remember if it was Mania or if it was a match. It was whenever Gable had a match the same day. It wasn't the AAA WrestleMania match. It was something else. Where I think it was WrestleMania. The wrestler looked significantly taller than Gable did.
I'm gonna have to look into that.
Yeah, Phoenix. Whoa, okay, I'll have to look into that. Yeah.
So I thought that personally, what you were saying, JR, I thought that they were gonna go the route where Kaiser was gonna try and turn them to join his group and not join American Alpha, or American Made, which I'm cool with this angle. But what really fucking got me about this segment was the reaction of American Made looking like surprised as fuck. Like,
Jackie Redmond's response was the greatest facial reaction I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
She's like,
"What?"
Reaction?
Yeah. And then so Jackie Redmond went to go interview Sammy. And Sammy, pretty much was hyping up his match, and then we got fucking Karrion Kross out of nowhere. So they're continuing on the feud, and I'm happy about that.
As I predicted.
I want to say this too also. I don't know if it's because I watched how great she is at what she does in the NHL, but I think Jackie Redmond might be the best interviewer that the company has right now.
Yeah.
Like, all due respect to Kathy, because Kathy's great, but I think Jackie is significantly better.
Yeah,
well, it was a big pickup after Renee went with her husband there in AEW, so it was a big pickup for them.
I did like Renee in WWE. I thought she did a great job.
Yeah, she was fine.
She was better with the talking smack than I think she was with anything else.
Yeah. But anyways, we saw a much darker side of Cross when he pulled out that fucking pipe and hit Sammy in the stomach with it, which was perfect. It was perfect. And even the interview that they did prior to, it was either prior to that attack or after, where Cross said, "You wanted us, and there are people that are happy that we lost." Or no, he said, "Sammy, you're no longer wanted." He was like, "There are people that would much rather see me win than you in your own country," and like. fuck, that was good. I want that shirt. I want that shirt that has the wanted poster with their faces on it.
Yeah.
Fuck.
That's not carrion. That's a killer coming out.
That's killer.
Across there. That's a
Yes.
killer coming out there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we got Gunther coming out. He was pretty much running his mouth like Gunther does, and this is the Gunther I like, right? Lighthearted, but still like very serious. And he was like, pretty much said he's going to send Goldberg into retirement early, and he's going to hurt him. And he referenced Gage, Goldberg's son, which is great. And then he said, "But I'm looking past Goldberg. Who's when I'm still champion, who's next? It's not going to be, it's going to be who's next." I'm gonna ask that, and Seth come out, and Seth, pretty much said, "I'm here to celebrate you winning, your championship. I promised that I would come and see you, and I haven't, so I'm gonna celebrate you." And Gunther is like real happy and everything. It's just two heels doing their stuff. And Seth brought up Punk, and Punk came out and chased Seth into the crowd. And then Gunther was standing behind Punk. Punk turned around and said, "Not today," and pushed him the fuck down. Like, I honestly, it looked like when he pushed him, he meant to hit the ropes and come back, but he went down, and that was perfect.
I think him falling down was meant to be.
Oh yeah, yeah. It was really good
because the facial reaction is why I think it was meant to be. We've seen what they can do off camera with Gunther and Punk.
Yep.
And when or if that program is something to be set, I think we are going to have a very, very fun fucking feud with those two. Because Seth Rollins is still a looming factor in that situation.
Yep. And then we seen LA Knight stand behind Punk, or not behind Punk, but behind Rollins. They brawled in the
with the
foyer.
fucking popcorn in his hand.
It was really cool to see a brawl out with the fans, like out in the foyer, because like you don't really see that. That's like Attitude Era shit.
Did you hear what Punk said about Rollins? He's like his knees have never worked that good, and him running away.
Yeah. It was. Gunther. Some of the key points and takeaways that Bleacher Report said is that Gunther said just like his match is summed up in 3 minutes, or just like his match is summed up in 3 minutes for you. He was like, "Yeah, he's like, I'll beat him in 3 minutes." And he also said, "I heard Goldberg says he doesn't like bullies." Well, Bill, too bad you bumped into the biggest bully around here.
That line was so well delivered because, like, I can't explain the camera angle when, like, him getting right in the camera's lens when he said that shit just made that line sound so much harder than it was.
That was very reminiscent, like, of NWO, like back in '97, where they used to talk to the camera. And then the last line that they put on here is, "Now we're left to wonder if you still got it. I'm gonna expose that you never had it." Oh fuck! It's gonna be.
Begs the question: do you think Triple H should be stupid enough to have Goldberg win?
No.
The only way that I see that happening is if Goldberg wins and Seth cashes in.
That is the only acceptable fucking direction I would take.
Yeah, fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
Because, brother, if Goldberg beats Gunther, I swear to God, you think Cody Rhodes losing at 39 was bad on Twitter, brother?
Yeah.
Look.
Yeah,
I'm just say.
I'll just say this to Chris: just close your damn app for like 2 days, so you don't have to look. I will look at it myself, and then I will give you the screenshots of everything I see.
I'm gonna say this: if they book Goldberg to win, and Seth doesn't cash in, that is going to be the biggest fumble, in my personal opinion, the biggest fumble since Seth and the Fiend and fucking Hell in a Cell.
Is it bad that I don't think that match is that bad?
No, I
It
think the
wasn't
ending
bad.
was
It was just the ending
The ending
was
was
shit.
shit.
Yeah.
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 I was confused of why they ended it the way that they did, but it also kind of reminded me of when Lesnar. Who the fuck did he take down? It was
Oh no, so
Undertaker.
Seth, it was Seth. Seth was fighting somebody. I think it was Dean in the cage, and then Brock came in, and when Brock came in, oh no, it was Brock and Seth, and then Undertaker appeared in the ring, beat the shit out of Brock, but Seth was gone, and then the match just ended.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I mean, I think that's worse than what they did with the Fiend and Seth. I think everybody was ready to shit on it in general because of the cage color, because of the lighting. I think people were just already there. And I think the Fiend character, especially after watching that documentary and hearing Triple H's take on it, and just, the creative direction of the character was just so all over the place.
Yeah.
If they didn't end the match the way that they did, the Fiend walking out to choke out Rollins like he did would have been fine.
Mm-hmm.
Like if Rollins would have somehow got the 1, 2, 3,
Mhm.
and the Fiend just like rose up from the dead, choked out Seth, and ended up on the ramps, basically like saying this isn't over.
Yeah.
Then okay.
Yeah.
But I think with Vince's creative and Bray's mind, I think they just kind of fucking collided with each other.
Yeah, absolutely. So next we had the Judgment Day officially voting Roxanne Perez in, reluctantly by like every other member except for Finn. We had, we had Dom saying, "Well, I got to call Liv," and Finn was like, "No, you have to do this now," like forcing him. And then JD's like, "Yeah, well, I don't really feel comfortable doing that." And then we had, Raquel, and she's like, "I don't want to fucking do this at all. Like, you're trying to replace her." No, we're not trying to replace her. We just need somebody to fill this spot so you can remain champion. And it's good for everybody. It's good for Judgment Day. It's good for you. It's good for her. So Roxanne is officially a part of the Judgment Day. We'll see where that leads.
There's something I want to pull out of there, and it's something I want to point out since her match at Saudi.
Okay.
Raquel's facial reactions in that spot and that segment were really, really good.
Yeah.
And, we pointed out how great her match was with Rhea.
Yeah.
And I think it always takes that one match, just like with JD, takes that one match for people to catch on.
Yeah. And
I think Raquel is about to get into her era of people appreciating her again.
Yeah. And also there's a little subtle hint in the background that that some people picked up on, some people didn't. They got the PlayStation back. and on the screen they had a fatal 5-way match between all the members of Judgment Day on the screen. So that, to me, that showed that there's a little bit of discord within Judgment Day, and that there may be a potential blow up in the future, but it's not going to be said right now. But next we had Lyra Valkyria versus Bayley. Really good fucking match between the two of them. The match ended in a draw. When was the last time you seen a draw finish?
It's been a minute.
Been a while.
I don't think I've seen one in a very long time. But
at least in WWE.
At least in WWE. But on social media, Lyra came and said clearly Bayley's shoulders are down, and I responded. I said, and so were yours, right? Like the fucking it's right there. Okay.
Come back to tape.
So it looks like we are going to be they haven't announced it yet, but it looks like we're going to be getting a triple threat for the Women's Intercontinental Championship match, which is what we talked about. Yeah.
We're getting a threesome. I mean, three-way. Sorry.
No, threesome.
Threesome. Okay, cool.
The main event was an injured Sami Zayn and Penta versus Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker. And before the match, Bronson Reed was like, where's Seth? Where did he go? And Paul was like, he's on a jet getting option B. And
Bronson was like, "What is option B?" And Braun came in and said, "It doesn't matter what option B is because I'm gonna go wreck some motherfuckers," and then walked out. Just walked right out. And that I love it. I look, Chris. I think you said
rumor
last
being thrown around of a fourth member, and if it's who the rumored name is, I'm gonna shit myself.
Who is that?
Mr.
Ethan
Ego
Page.
brother.
Well, I've seen two. I've seen two. Ethan Page and Ricky Starks.
Yeah, and
Or
I
same.
don't think turning Ricky heel would be a good idea.
I
least
think
not
I
yet.
honestly think he
It
needs to
seems
stay
like
in NXT.
Ethan would make the more sense because he's the more main roster ready compared to Ricky right now, in my opinion. So
Yeah.
And Ethan can fucking talk his
Yeah, he would
ass
talk.
off, bro.
yeah.
And you said last week that Braun Breaker was too much for that group, and I'm going to
I
say
still
it.
agree.
I agree. I think that
100%.
I think Braun Breaker is so fucking over. Like
It's not even an over thing, bro. It's just he's a fucking presence.
Yeah.
It's like Jacob. Jacob, I would consider him over now, but I would say when he first got brought in, it was a presence thing.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel about Braun. I don't think Braun is over because you give him a microphone and he sounds like wet fucking paint talking on the microphone.
Yeah.
Followed by a hoo, hoo, hoo.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to say if the rumors are true because we've already seen it. His cousin got signed to WWE, and he's in developmental right now. And if that's the fucking true, if they give it like 3 years, if they bring that man up to the main roster, sell me on the Steiners.
If
Sell
he
me
gets
on
through the
fucking-
system good, though.
Yeah, if he does, and I'm saying
Remember, not all those
Yeah.
people fucking make it through that system.
you're not wrong. You're not wrong. But if he makes it through the system and he's actually really good, and if they and I would even say like give him exposure and put him in LFG, right? And let this man build himself. I will give all of my money for the next whatever year that is to go see fucking the Steiners. If they
That would be cool.
yeah, like a Legacy 2.0. Give me that
You
shit.
gotta make sure he's on that same level as Braun, though. That's the scary
Yeah.
part.
Yeah, absolutely. And his dad has the Steiner recliner and let him do the Steiner recliner. Braun. Look, and I know it's that like it's not popular to steal moves from your.
It's not even that. It's not even that. I think the thing with Scott that's just so unique is like what he did with the NWO and his character further on to TNA and to WWE was he was just such a big fucking guy.
Yeah.
I don't even think his own son could replicate anything he did. Like,
I mean, you're not wrong.
you could give him the Steiner math promo and it wouldn't hit the same. Just like when Braun does it. It's like, okay, cool. He did it. Cool pop, whatever. But it's like, I think when you're trying to replicate a character or a promo or whatever, it doesn't hit the same. One person I will say who I think is doing really good with his character work and reminds me a lot of his dad is Lexus. I think he's doing a phenomenal job replicating Brian Pillman.
It's because they're not trying to toe the line; they're letting him lean into that character.
Yeah,
which is great. And if they do bring in Scott Steiner's son, I mean, there's only one thing I really.
This fat son of a bitch is counts.
Holla if you can hear me.
That's what I want to hear. That's all I want to hear. You fat son of a bitch. Look. If and I honestly think that his time in the NWO and then everything after, like you said, going into TNA, severely outshined his time with Rick.
100%.
With Rick.
Question.
Yeah. Once he made that heel turn and he established himself as Big Papa Pump, Big Bad Booty Daddy,
the Steiner brothers don't even exist at that point.
No, they don't. I would love to see them have a reunion, or potentially have the sons link up and be tag team partners. And I would be all for that. Or even just to tag team one time, I'd be okay with that. But moving on into the main event. Long story short, Sammy ate a fucking spear, and then a tsunami, and that was the end of the match. And they continued to beat down everybody, and then Jay came out for the save.
I have a gripe
But
about
he was-
this.
But that he was buried.
Yeah.
Clearly buried. He closed out
Yeah.
the show over the world champion.
Exactly.
Um,
Next.
I don't like that Cross wasn't involved in that. Like, I get he beat Sammy down in the back. I get that. I get that.
Yeah.
But like, why was he not involved in Sammy losing that match?
You're not wrong. I will throw this out. If they are moving in, and I know this may not be popular here, but if they're moving in the direction of the Dangerous Alliance, like a reformation of the Dangerous Alliance, I would be completely okay with Cross being with Scarlett.
Another
And
stable, though?
why not? Why not?
Why would you put him in another stable, though?
But then
wouldn't-
Cross
it wouldn't-
wouldn't be the leader of that at that point, because remember
Yeah.
he tried to be a leader of a faction, and that failed miserably.
Well,
sadly.
correct me if I'm wrong, though. Wouldn't that go against his character to be a follower?
Mm.
But it would. I don't necessarily feel like it would be a following kind of deal. It would be more of a joining an established dominant group already, where he, there is. I mean, Seth is technically the leader, but they haven't like really established a leader per se. Whereas
Right.
like you had Evolution and you had, you had Legacy, where we had established leaders. Like there's no established leader. Seth has the fucking briefcase. The end goal is for him to cash in, and then to have one of the other guys beat the opposing champion for the championship, so they dominate all of WWE. Right, that is the end goal from what I've seen. But there's no established there's no established name. We don't have an established theme form. We don't have like an established hierarchy, which I don't feel there is a hierarchy. I feel like it's just everybody contributing to something, right? Seth is trying to prevent Punk from being champion while cashing in this Money in the Bank. And even then, he said, "Who said I was going to cash in the Money in the Bank in Saudi?"
Right.
Right? Like, which is crazy because he came out with he tried to get a ref in. But it's just, I feel like that group is awesome, but it's running amok and it needs a set direction.
Well, they did start with getting Bronson on a new team. We didn't really well, to be honest. Maybe I'll hear it like clearly next time, but for the most part, at least they're doing something with that. At least now you have like with those two,
Yeah.
we have at least some kind of something different compared to just them coming out in singles, their singles entrances and such.
Yeah.
The way that I'm trying to think of the Cross theory is I feel like the perception of if Cross were to be put in there, it would feel forced because he's getting reactions. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I'm not fully against Cross being with Rollins because Rollins is obviously a very big name. Yeah. I just worry that the perception of Cross being put in there would come off as being forced because of said promo complaining about his spot, even though it was a work at WrestleMania. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like trying to put puzzle pieces together of conspiracy theories.
Well, also, like one of the things, what if he got put in the group by proxy because of his involvement with Sam?
I can see that. Like if you make it make sense, then sure. But don't just like him be plan B because then I feel it would be forced.
Yeah. I don't want to be plan B. I want it if he's going to join the group, I want it to be a surprise. I don't want it to be like, oh, hey, he's his plan B when Seth left to go get plan B and he was already in the arena. Like it wouldn't fucking make sense. So make it make sense and make it unpredictable if that's going to be the case. But overall, I thought Raw was really good.
I thought Raw was very solid. I would have probably put Judgment Day as the main event, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I thought that was a bit better of a match, but then we also had to get the Raquel thing backstage. So I mean, it makes sense why it closed out.
Yeah, definitely. But I'm gonna let you guys move on to NXT. I gotta go to the bathroom. All right.
Okay. JR, you watched NXT, right?
So I didn't complete it, but I know what majority of what happened. So I'm still following it regardless. Yeah. So I
Okay.
still have to finish it, to be honest. But yeah.
All right. So we start the show off with Trick Williams coming out on commentary. And we start off with Joe Hendry versus Wesley with High Rise at ringside. I thought this was a very good back and forth match. I thought Trick was pretty great on commentary. And again, Wesley eats a pin, and I repeat my same gripe that I've had every time we talk about Wesley. I don't like his position. If you're gonna push the guy up to the main roster, then do it, or just let the guy go fucking work somewhere else because they're not doing anything with him. The man hasn't held gold in almost 2 years. Like, I just don't understand what the direction is with him. Same with High Rise. High Rise is literally wasting their time there.
Remember, Wes was injured for part of that for
Right.
that 2 years, so we can't really, I'm. Yeah. Okay. We'll move on. We'll move on. I'll think about it after. Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. Then we had a backstage segment with Tatum Paxley talking about Sol Ruka and Zarya, pulling her away. Sol says they were trying to prevent Izzy from brainwashing her. So Tatum ends up teaming up with Izzy against Zarya and Sol Ruka for that night.
Okay.
So I thought that was a pretty nice little segment. I think Tatum's character building or character work is pretty fucking spot on. I absolutely
It's been great. Yeah.
I'm gonna kind of do a fast forward through this family segment, because basically we go back to square one. Tony thinks that Luca is with Stax. Luca is trying to convince him that he's not, and out comes Stax, and he's like, "Oh, I won the North America or the Heritage Cup Championship because of you, Luca." And he steps into the ring with Tony. Luca punches them both out and says, "I'm out. I'm on my own." Like I told you on Messenger, I think this was a little bit better than their segments have been. I like that Luca has walked out by himself. Now, I just want them to be over with Stax and Tony D, and I'll be happy. You know what Stax kind of feels like to me, and I can't believe I'm saying this. He kind of reminds me of what the fuck is that Aussie Open guy's name? Kyle something.
Not Kyle Fletcher, please. Don't tell me. No.
I get Kyle Fletcher vibes from him a little bit.
Really?
A little bit. I like presentation wise, it kind of feels like that. Better on the promo part. Better on the promo part.
Okay, fine. Yeah.
I just feel like him walking in. I don't know why I see that obnoxious Kyle Fletcher face.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me. I don't know if you remember the Mama Lukes from WCW. It seems like it's kind of like a stretched up. It's like a stretched out kind of a program with these guys, because they had Johnny the Bull and Vito go at it with one another, and then they stretched it out all the way to when WCW closed.
Yeah.
In this case here, it kind of feels that way with those.
Bit.
It seems like if you're an Italian mafia character, you have a very small shelf life.
Very small.
When it comes to it. So, yeah.
Then we see Kelly Kincaid talking backstage with Oba, asking if he has a preference between Jasper or Yoshiki. And, Oba being Oba, he's the ruler of NXT. He has no preference on who he's going to face. We also see the Florida Gators are in the crowd for the next match, and that's Miles Bourne against Lexus King. I thought this match was great. Lexus is in very, very good shape.
Very good shape.
Skinny Lexus is pretty interesting to see. Seems like he's been putting in a lot of hard work to get himself in that shape, so good on him. I'm a little confused with how the crowd is reacting to Miles now, because I feel like now that he's out of NQCC, he's not getting reactions. I'm a little worried. Not yet, but I'm a little worried on his direction.
Just give it time. Just give
Yeah,
it time. Remember, they're just now starting to get to know him a lot more than just being that deaf guy who is the sidekick to Charlie Dempsey now.
Yeah,
So let's just give it time in this case here. So
super not stressing. But Miles Bourne ended up winning the match, celebrating with the Gators. Then we had a Dark State vignette saying that they're not through, and just when you think that when we were through, we're just getting started. This comes after the Zack Ryder thing. I saw Osiris Griffin tweet Zack Ryder's name on Twitter, so it looks like we might have a Matt Cardona appearance eventually. I don't know when. I'm all for
you
it.
never know. That'll be great. Yeah, and then the shout out once again to Sugars there, man. He was like, that guy when that guy talks.
Cutler's improved too. Cutler's improved a lot.
Cutler did really good with his promo there. I was really impressed with that. And
I love that all four guys can talk.
Yes, that's a good
I actually find this really funny. When I hear Osiris talk, his voice does not match what he looks like. It's so weird.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Is it? I didn't really hear it properly. Is it like soft spoken or?
It's very soft spoken.
So he's like Ezekiel Jackson and Moose.
Little bit.
When they speak, it's like you big muscle guy. And he's like, "Is there a problem? Is there a problem there?"
Because when they shifted to Sugars, and Sugars got that very distinct accent and voice, it's like holy shit. There's a huge difference there. And you know who really delivered in that promo? Dion Lennox.
Yes.
Really took yes. The promo he cut was so convincing. I was like, bro, this guy turned it up in the last year. It's fucking crazy.
You never would have imagined you'd say that about him months ago. But there he is. Hey,
and I love that the seed all started with Dion saying that he's going to see Obafemi sooner rather than later, being Dark State. So I thought that was great. Yeah. Next up, we had Thea Hale against Lainey Reed. Bro, shout out to Lainey Reed because Jesus Christ. She is probably one of the best talents I've seen step in that ring in quite a while for the women. That's not a big name.
And she got Charlotte Flair endorsed, so yeah, you know she's going to be a big name.
Yeah. But these ladies killed it. Thea Hale continues to improve and get a lot of praise across the board, except from a certain douchebag journalist that he will go unnamed.
I don't give a rat's ass. And did you see her speed match got 10 million views?
Yeah.
With Alba Fire, and she's getting main roster reaction, which is great to see. So that
match was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun, yeah. Her and Alba Fire, yeah, good stuff there, man. It was really, and I love the finish too with the when he went off the ropes and then got the gory bomb. I was so
the what is it? What does she call that bomb again? Is it just the Kaylee Ray bomb?
Hey, it's a Kaylee Ray bomb, but it's the gory. Yeah, it's the gory bomb basically.
Yeah,
the gory.
When she used to hit that shit in NXT UK, bro. Oh my Lord, have mercy.
Yeah, but
Kaylee Ray is one of the best UK talents they've signed.
Yeah, okay, and I'm glad that Triple H still sees something in her, which is great. So that's good to see that she's getting some stuff. And then Thea really has improved. Is getting a lot of traction going in there.
And she had a main roster crowd cheering for her.
Yeah, awesome. Lainey Reed. Yeah, I agree. She's been excellent. Since finally getting a spot on the NXT roster. The main show. So it's good that they're establishing her. That's good.
Absolutely. Then we had a backstage segment with Ren Sinclair saying that she's glad that Tavian Heights is part of the NQCC. And Charlie says, well, Tavion still lost to Javon, and Tavion's not going to make any excuses, but he wants the same deal that Miles got, and that if he beats Charles, that he wants out. So Tavion and Charlie are going to have a match, assuming this coming Tuesday. If Tavion wins, he's out. I don't think they're going to break everybody up just like that. I think Tavion's going to lose and get humbled, which I want to see more Charlie Dempsey in the ring. I really wish he would wrestle more than he does, but I guess I can understand why he doesn't, because he just has such a strong style.
It's Regal's son. He ain't gonna let him do it all every week, probably. Yeah.
Then we had a Jasper Troy promo. And listen, man,
Mm-hmm.
the very beginning of that promo was a rough listen because he was just making the weird facial expressions, trying to convince me that he's a tough guy. Jasper is great in the ring, but he's got to work on the delivery of his promos.
There's a lot of time with him.
Oh,
That
yeah,
guy,
sure. I'm not stressing.
With him. No, don't need to be nitpicky about him being, green, because we know he's green.
Yeah.
In this case here,
I just think the only reason I'm nitpicky on him is because he's in a title picture. That's the only reason. Because if you think somebody's ready enough to be there, I want to be convinced that he's ready enough to be there. You know what I mean?
Okay, that's a fair assessment. Okay, that's fair.
Then we had Sol Ruka and Zarya versus Izzy Dame and Tatum Paxley. I want to say this again about Tatum.
Mm-hmm.
That entrance with Tatum being there made it pop so much harder than with what's his face being in there, Jensen. And that's my point, and that's how bad that is because Jensen wasn't shit. And all respect to Bull Buchanan, but he is not his dad in any form. And I think that's the problem is he was relying so hard on being I wouldn't even say legend, past talent's son that he's like, oh yeah, well this will get me in the door and I'll be getting title opportunities and shit. Nope. He peaked when him and Briggs won the NXT UK titles together. He hasn't improved since. And I could argue the same about Briggs. The difference is Briggs, his work speaks for himself. Yeah. Jensen doesn't have that ring work or those promos or that personality to do shit. But Tatum being introduced to the culling is fantastic because not only do you get to see Sean Spears manipulate his way into a young lady's career like he is with Tatum, but now you have Vance forcing himself to add more into the group. And I think them pulling Jensen out was the greatest thing that they've ever done.
Yeah, it is.
We had Izzy Dame and Tatum win after Zarya accidentally speared Sol Ruka.
Amazing. That's fine.
Again, like I said, Sol Ruka and Zarya is clearly the direction. It's just a matter of time of when.
That's fine. Yeah.
Then we had a backstage segment. Ricky Saints and Ethan talking. Bro, the fact that they have Vanity Project in on this.
I told you, bro.
Really
that's money. That
money.
Group with Ethan is money right now. That is absolute money.
The fact that they got Ethan Page saying hundos makes me so happy. We're gonna get Ricky Saints versus the Vanity Project in a gauntlet match.
Oh my God.
In order to face Ethan Page.
Wow.
Bro, when HBK is in his bag, this man can book a fucking perfect feud. Ethan Page and Ricky has been nothing short of perfect.
Yeah, agreed.
And the underlying talent on all the feuds that he's great in is Ethan. Not saying that Ricky's not great, but Ethan is fantastic.
Nope, he's making it work. He's proving his worth. Absolutely.
Yes. And however much he's getting paid, he should get paid that much more. I'm skipping over Chase U because I think it's washed.
Please.
Yep.
Yes, next.
Then we had a Joe Hendry and Mike Santana. I forgot to mention that Mike Santana helped Joe Hendry win that match, by the way.
That's right. That. Yes. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Bro, this interview was really, really fucking good. Mike Santana's intensity is like something I've never seen before. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of a very early John Cena, the ruthless aggression John Cena when he first came in, because you believe everything he's saying. And when he said to Joe, he's like, yo, I respect you and everything, but you ain't shit. Kind of basically what he said, more or less.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm taking that TNA title home.
Yeah.
And I love that they're on the same page of TNA Championship needs to come back to TNA.
Mhm.
But man, I think Trick Williams winning that title is the greatest thing that could have happened to that brand because you got guys like Mike Santana to step out of his comfort zone, and you got Joe Hendry to prove to be more than just an entrance. Because if you remember a couple weeks ago, I was a little critical on Joe, and it wasn't out of harm for his character as a person, but I felt like I needed to see more out of him than just an entrance. And with his match with Wesley, we got just that.
We did.
So looking forward to Slammiversary. I think it's going to be absolutely incredible.
Yep, it's gonna be a good show. Yeah, they deserve it after everything over the past year and all that. Yeah, they deserve to get all the praise and all the eyes on Slammiversary because TNA has just been doing a great job there.
Ava informs Izzy she's going to be facing Sol Ruka for the North American Women's Championship and the Great American Bash. Really happy that match is happening.
She's defending her title though. Sorry.
And then Hank and Tank come backstage blaming the colleague for getting attacked. So Tatum says, why don't you put your tag team titles on the line? So next week, it looks like the Colling might be your new tag team champions.
Please, for the love of God, take those titles off those schmucks.
So, like I said to you before, I think either the Calling or Dark State's going to be the guys to take those titles.
Yeah.
You know who I wouldn't mind coming into the NXT roster to take those tag titles? Vanity Project. I think it would not only help their brand, their name, but you have what is the guy who won the Evolves Championship name again?
Jackson something. I can't remember the full name, to be honest. I haven't watched
Is it Jackson Drake?
Thank you. That's the name. Yes,
that's him.
Jackson Drake. The third member of Vanity. Yeah, not Brad Baylor or Ricky Smokes. No.
Right. So I think it would help their brand, and it would help that stable get over. Not saying yet. I'm not saying right away.
Okay, I was just gonna say because I don't want to give it to them right away because they're very young. Those guys are very, very young. Seems like Brad Baylor hasn't even got out of puberty yet, to be honest. But I just don't see. I can see him, maybe in a couple years. Yeah, Vanity Project would be like a star in NXT, but not.
The chemistry they have as a team is phenomenal, and I think that match. Who did they face a couple weeks ago on NXT television again?
They faced Fraxium, man.
Okay, it was Fraxium. Yeah, that match was great.
Yeah.
I mean, you could argue Fraxium may have carried
Fraxium, of course. Yes. No. You're talking about another match. Remember, they had the match against Phoenix, Javon. Oh, no. Sorry. Dragon Lee, Javon, and what's his face? Laredo Kid.
Yeah, Laredo Kid. Yeah, that's the match I'm referring to. That match was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Then we had our fifth match of the night, and that was Yoshiki against Jasper Troy. And god damn it, this match was fucking incredible.
I did see the most of it here. That's a big meaty man slapping the meat. Sorry. I'll do it for you. No bread, no water, just me.
No bread, no water, just me.
Yeah.
I could do it this time.
That's the monster Abyss versus a freaking Godzilla, man. Woo!
Dude, I wish we could have gotten Abyss in WWE. I really do.
That would have been great.
God damn it.
Yeah, but no, but hey, he's in WWE now, so
but yeah, I think that Yoshiki is fucking fantastic, bro.
Of course.
I don't think he would be the one to dethrone Oba. Would be pretty fucking incredible because it would be out of nowhere. And I love those swerves sometimes. No pun intended. Who do you think would be the one to beat Oba if not Yoshiki?
See, that's the problem that I pointed out over the last few weeks, especially, I would say within the last 8 months of NXT. It seems as though they're in a fluctuating period where they don't know who the main villain is, who the top guy will be to, dethrone a championship, because it seems like these last title reigns, the reason why it's been so long is because you don't know who's going to be the next person up in this case here. So with Oba winning in this case here, you can't find anybody realistic that can beat him, because you put this persona and character of Oba being this kind of like hybrid of Mark Henry and Goldberg, you know, just
That's a fair
being
comparison.
dominant. Yeah, being dominant, being, this, who can talk, who's going to be a big star, once he gets on the main roster. The problem with NXT is just that the reason why they haven't had that is because, like, look what his challengers have been over the last 6 months. At NXT, you've had a TNA guy, you've had Miles Bourne, you're gonna have a Yoshi. You're sorry, I don't want to spoil that. You're gonna have you have a rookie going after him. You had Trick, you had Javon, you had like so many contenders there. You just haven't had that person that would be the next person up to take the title from him. So it's I don't think it's gonna be Yoshiki, like
No,
you said
definitely
in this
not.
case here, because it's probably not gonna be, because I think it's just mainly just to, have something different for that sake there. If they're gonna take the title from Oba, it's gotta be at stand and deliver, because I think in this case here, they don't they have a they don't have enough time to get somebody up there that will take the title away from him. If they suddenly make Dark State the way that it's supposed to be, then I would think that would be the more logical threat to him, and then the one that would dethrone Obafemi.
And that's the crazy part, is like Dark State seems to be the only logical direction to put a
That's
title around them.
that's right, exactly. And you don't want to rush it with Dark State as well, because it's like if you rush him to be the ones to defeat him, like let me play kind of like fantasy booker here. What if all four members of Dark State are inside the Iron Survivor Challenge against
That would be
somebody else?
fucking insane.
Yeah, it's like, and then literally it's like somebody else, and then it's like all four of them have to go, they're gonna be like,
Javon.
okay, who's gonna face Oba? It's like,
Javon.
yeah,
He
or
was,
like maybe it's
remember, he
Javon.
was my pick when they had the triple threat match with
Yeah,
Dark State.
exactly. Yeah, so it's like NXT needs to do something about, if they're gonna make Oba lose the title, it's got to be to somebody believable. It's got to be to somebody who we think is gonna be the next person up, who's gonna carry that brand over the next however months you're gonna have
And you
without
know
Oba as
what's crazy is, like, this isn't a disrespect to anybody that has been signed to that company over the last year. Like, Ethan, I would argue to say, is the greatest signing that NXT has had in quite some time. Ricky is great. Ricky can hold down that mid card division and be perfectly fine for a little while. I think Javon has transcended the mid card. I truly think that he has NXT champion potential. I think right now where he's at, because it seems like they've cooled him down quite a bit.
Yeah.
I would not mind seeing him be the one to dethrone Oba, but in a sense of, wow, I didn't see that coming. And like you said, Dark State and Javon would be perfect, because Javon can talk, just like Sugars. They have almost the same type of what's the word? Derelict? Is that the right word?
Swagger.
Yeah. And I just feel that Javon is ready. And him being so young, he's not green by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah.
And he still hasn't been given a title run yet, which is actually kind of crazy to me.
Yeah, we're talking. Yeah, Dark State. Yeah, they haven't really gone.
No.
Oh,
I'm talking about Javon.
Javon. Oh yeah. Well, with Javon, you can be very flexible with him. Yeah, you don't. I could see him. Yeah, I could see a title run with him. But in this case here, like with him, someone like Roxy, someone like any of the young talent that's below 25, you have a lot of room to work with in this case. Like Thea as well in this case here. I don't think him not being a champion right now is hurting him, because right now his character's great. His character's great. His promo works great right now, and his ring psychology, as we've discussed, has been outstanding over the
And I think
last year as well.
I think the injection of Jasper has helped. I think it's kind of making headway for that division a little bit. I think when Joe Hendry is part of that roster,
Mhm.
I would assume the direction is for him to go to the main roster, if not right away.
Mhm.
I don't think he really needs NXT, to be completely honest with you.
Maybe like for a brief period, just
Yeah,
to
maybe
get
like
his
a
feet
couple
wet.
months or something.
Yeah, exactly. Like give him like a quick run there, and then give him a quick call up, like you did with Kevin Owens or someone like that.
Yeah, and I think with all the injuries that are going on, I think it also makes it hard to shift over some main roster guys to the NXT division to help that out a little bit
Yeah.
because,
Yeah.
you know, um, things are in a really strange place right now.
It's very strange. Yeah.
And I was worried when Stephanie and Julia were getting called up, and I think Blake Monroe has severely helped and quite literally saved that division from drowning. Not that the rest of the women can't carry it, but
No.
if Jordan was getting called up at the same time, and I'm really glad they didn't,
No.
NXT would have been in trouble.
No, you need to keep Jordan there for a little bit. Yeah,
Yeah.
because they need it. So yeah.
And that leads into the next segment, which was Jordan Grace and the Fatal Influence before they came out. Jordan had basically questioned her worth and whether or not she deserves to be there. And
That was good. Good
it
stuff.
felt very real because of
Yeah.
how they reacted to her winning that Fatal 4-Way match.
Yeah, exactly. Especially someone, Bully Ray pointed this out on his podcast, and I 100% agree. It's like you're seeing a human side of Jordan Grace that was being brought out there, and it's great that she was able to do that. And just deliver that in the promo. So it's good to see with Jordan there. Yeah, I agree.
And I think Jordan brings a lot of heart to that division and a lot of realness, which I think is missed in a lot of today's wrestling. Because outside of like Cody and maybe a select few others, you don't really see a lot of outside of character work in the ring. Like you don't really get that. This isn't a character kind of promo. This is actually me. You know what I mean? I think Jordan is a very, very good addition to that roster, and I'm really glad that she's still in her spot. Out comes JC, basically saying, are you done with your sob story? And she's like, I'm gonna be at Evolution, and I'm gonna prove a point, and you're gonna be nothing more than just a flavor of the week. They go back and forth, and then Fatal Influence tries to beat down Jordan, and out comes Blake Monroe to make the save. She does her little prissy run, which I thought was pretty great. She hit a fucking sling blade in heels.
I know, it's crazy. And then
Jordan
also
with that disgusting ass spine buster.
Yeah, and then to add on that match at Evolution between JC and Jordan, the winner will go to Slammiversary and meet Masha Slamovich in a title for title match. So an interesting little development there in that women's division there. So
that begs the question: who should win that match? JC?
Oh gosh,
like that's a tough one because like Jordan just got off of being TNA champion.
Yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, didn't Masha take it off of her?
She took it off her. Yeah. She did.
So what are you going to do? Have her beat Masha? Be a double champion?
It would be interesting, but I mean, that would be huge though. But that also would be huge though. So let's say hypothetically Jordan goes over in this match. Or either one. You have Masha win the title at Slammiversary and have her be a double champion and work both shows now. That would show a huge confidence in TNA as a brand if you let Masha go over one of those two.
I mean, if we're being real, we haven't seen a ton of women from TNA come over to NXT outside of Rosemary.
Just Rosemary, yeah. I think they're sort of developing their women's roster a little bit more now. Like it's getting ever since Jordan left, and then they had others leave as well. But I think they're reestablishing themselves because they have, a deeper roster now. With the inspiration going back there was huge, so it helps their tag division. And then you have like others like Tessa. You have Ming Ying Lee, formerly Xia Li, and all that. So I mean, you've got some talent there, but Yeah, it'd be interesting if they actually pull this off.
I mean,
So
shit, and you have Spitfire, which I think also didn't they just break up?
they just broke up because they lost to the Elegance brand
Right.
in a match recently. So yeah,
Um,
and so now Danny Luna is now like a heel with like a heel and all that. So yeah,
and you have Zaya Brookside.
Zion Brookside. Yep, you got Tasha Steeles. They've got the talent. I just don't know why they haven't brought a lot of them over to TNA to NXT here, which is
And
kind
I'm
of
wondering if it's because they wanted to get Oba to go through people like Moose or fucking Lexus go through Fandango or JD, whatever the fuck you want to call him. Is it JD or JC?
JD.
Um, but
Or
I think
JDC if you want to be exact. That's his
yeah,
name.
yeah.
And then
But I think they kind of wanted to get those matchups out of the way first. And since Julia and Stephanie both got called up, what better way to have them work the NXT roster than with Fatal Influence
yeah, true.
and build up that JC Jane brand?
Yeah, we will see.
Jordan doesn't need that win.
That's true. She doesn't need there. And then it seems, and Blake Monroe obviously is the main goal after that. So it's like, I wouldn't mind JC winning, honestly. Like I said, you can go many routes with this. I'm sure the final decision will probably be on the day of Evolution, and then we'll see where the direction goes.
I truly think that if you're going to sign somebody like Mariah May, whenever her first match is, and I think it's Evolution if I'm not mistaken, or a Great American Bash, I don't remember. Whenever her first title match is, she should not lose that match because of her name alone. She has had more exposure, if you want to call it that, than Fatal Influence has. So I think whenever her first title match is, I think she should win. But yeah, that was NXT. NXT was a great show. They mollywopped Dinah Shit's 300th episode. Sean, whenever you want to come back.
Dinah shit.
Dinah Shit. Yes.
Hey, I just logged in and I picked up the that Jacob Fatu.
Do what?
The Jacob Fatu, the werewolf Jacob Fatu.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Ugliest card I've ever seen in my fucking life.
Oh, it's ugly. The only one that I'm missing is Ray Phoenix.
Yeah, that's the only one I'm missing too. I can't get him yet. It's weird.
Same.
Look, dude. I've been watching quick shout out, Super Zo My God Barbecue, JB, and fucking he said that he's been having a hard time getting Oscar, which I have a fortified Oscar, as well as a F1 Oscar, as well as an F1 Ivar. So it's weird. Super weird. But yeah. Okay, we want to move on to SmackDown?
Yep, I got it here, as always. Also filmed in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, as we already established, since they double taped to give them a full week off for July 4th. Started off with King Raheem Rhodes appearing to address his court there. Yes, if you want to pull it up there real quick there. Thank you. Yes.
I'm just going to leave it there while you talk.
He wanted to address his crew there. He goes and says, there's a young man in Club 66. I believe his name is Cam. He's battling leukemia. He's working with the Children's Hospital in Pittsburgh. Let's hear it for him. You guys are a wild crowd. So what does this crowd stand for? He said, I left a piece of myself in Columbus, Ohio, fighting Jey Uso just to hold this. I left a piece of myself in Riyadh, wrestling my mentor, just to hold on to us. And what does it stand for? It stands for where we've been. It stands for where we are going, where we've been. Past kings like Booker T, Bret Hart, Stone Cold, and Triple H. It stands for where we are going. The main event is SummerSlam, myself against the undisputed champion John Cena, which brought out his opponent previously of Randy Orton. That's who he's facing, but it was Randy Orton that came out there. He approved of what Cody did, that he would do anything that he would have done, and he basically asked that he promised one thing. He goes, please kick John Cena's ass, which Cody said. And then out of nowhere, a return that nobody spoiled, thankfully, aside from the social media, but I didn't know he was coming back so soon, but Drew McIntyre came back. Great to see. So it looks like he's healed up, which is great to see. I loved his beginning here. I loved his little promo. He goes, "You hang up. No, 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 no. You hang up. Oh no, please, you hang up. Oh, shut up. That's what you both sound to me, and it's pathetic. When did this beta male energy take over WWE? Thank God the alpha has returned. Where did it start? Randy, Randy, why you lost? Why you lost? You hesitated on that punt and you lost a psychological battle, but way before that. Cody here has been buttering you up for months, talking about your past relationship, how much he respects you, like a true politician with a big hog and knife to your back. Speaking of your back, his surgically repaired back. Remember that? Do you remember that surgically repaired back? And somebody attacked it like a shark with blood in the water. He was relentless on that nonstop. When we had the chance to punt him, you couldn't do it. What happened to you, Randy? You were the Viper, Legend Killer, Apex Predator. A few years ago, you were punting Hall of Famers in the head, and I had to save you from the monster you were. As far as I'm concerned, the legend of Randy Orton is dead. And you, Super Cody, I want you to win at SummerSlam. I want Cody Rhodes to become the next WWE champion. This is the match I want. As big as it gets. This is 20 years in the making. Parallel careers, different destinations. I want you for that title so I could be the one to rip it out of your hands. And I won't hesitate. Unlike somebody. And then he gets an RKO over his troubles because of that comment from Randy Orton. So
Pretty nice fucking RKO too.
yeah, welcome back, Drew. Good to see you there. Glad you're healed up there. Charlotte Flair then runs into Nick Aldis. She was asking Nick about a title opportunity. And he goes, and Nick says, yes, it's for, well, she thought it was a title match against Tiffany Stratton, but he goes, nope, it's actually a title match for the tag titles. And then Charlotte goes, but I didn't know about a tag. And then he goes, yeah, and then he goes, oh yeah, you're going to be in the match. You're going to be against the Secret Service and Michin and BFAT. And if you win, you get the title match at Evolution in that Fatal 4-Way. And then she doesn't realize that her partner is actually Alexa Bliss, who actually suggested the match. So, and she tells that she's welcome. Alexa doesn't want to be your friend, but they should be tag partners. Charlotte says that Alexa already knows and she says Charlotte Flair doesn't share the same spotlight. Alexa says that Charlotte has been in the spotlight for a long time. Alexa's trying to give Charlotte the opportunity to get out of the Twilight Zone. Nick says that Charlotte doesn't know what's best for her at times. Does Charlotte really think that Tiffany's going to pick her tonight? Alexa asks Charlotte if she wants the gold at Evolution or not. And Charlotte begrudgingly says, okay, I'll be your tag partner. So they will be in that tag match later on tonight. Drew McIntyre goes to Nick Aldis, says he wants a match with Randy Orton. Nick tells Drew that Randy has left the building. If Drew wants to have a match with Randy, he can have it next week at Saturday night's main event. He has a brief standoff with Jacob Fatu. Nick understands that Jacob wants to get his hands on the bloodline, but he can't go around demolishing cars. Because earlier, actually, I didn't mention this, earlier in the day, he actually attacked Solo while he was parking his car, and he attacked his old bloodline there, or sorry, his My Family Tree. Nick tells Jacob that he can go by the tag team partner. They got a tag match with the bloodline later tonight. Jacob asks Jimmy Uso if he's ready, and he goes, yep, let's go. So we will have their match later tonight. Which led to the women's tag team qualifier match, which is Charlotte Flair and Alexa versus the Secret Her Service with Chelsea Green, salute, and B-Fab and Michin
Super salute.
super salute, yes indeed, in a triple threat match here. Yeah, some good stuff there overall between all three teams there. I thought it was a really good.
I thought the ending was really good.
Yeah, the ending was really good there. So Charlotte goes for a moonsault on both Secret Her Service members, which she does while tapping Bliss on the forehead. But unbeknownst to her, she gets tagged by Bliss, who did the Twisted Bliss on both of them. And they get the pin, and Charlotte begrudgingly hugs Bliss because they got the title match, and they are the first team to qualify. So they will face off with Roxy and Raquel. Plus another Raw team and an NXT team to hopefully be determined by this. Well, obviously it has to be determined by this week since Evolution is next week. So we'll find out who those teams are. We then see Nick Aldis holding court with the whole tag division. He said he tried to mitigate the situation last week by giving the Wyatt Six a title shot. But what happened? All the other teams, and he told all the other teams had to do was stay out of it. But what happened? They couldn't help themselves. DIY says that everything they've been doing was to save the tag division. They're not the bad guys. Nathan Frazier pokes fun at DIY losing to Phoenix and Andrade last week. Tommaso Ciampa said that Fraxium can't do any better. So Nick tells Fraxium, yeah, you could have the match with Phoenix and Andrade just to prove him wrong. And then he goes, as the rest of the teams, he goes, it seems like they have unfinished business with the Wyatts. So one member from each team will go up against the Wyatt Six later tonight. And then they're here to stay. And then if they're successful in that tag match, then they will get a tag team title match once again. And DIY was trying to get a huddle between all the teams, but then they're like, nah, forget it. So that was a good segment there. I really like this tag division stuff there. They're really utilizing all the teams there in a very good way. So I'm loving what they're doing there.
I think the goofy, delusional heel Johnny is the best heel.
It's the way Johnny Gargano, but up to a notch there. It's been really good stuff there.
I loved how like how DIY when Nick Aldis was like, everybody wants a piece of him. Tommaso was like, don't want a piece of him.
Which is probably why he wasn't in the match. We had the match itself. We had the Wyatt Six versus so the members of each team were Montez Ford of the Street Profits, Johnny Gargano DIY, Chris Sabin of the Motor City Machine Guns, and Berto of Legado del Fantasma. It's some good stuff there in this 8-man tag. Good to see both Rowan and Howdy in a match at long last. Yeah, it was good to see them those guys there. It was a lot of chaos in there, and Rowan gets the victory with his Iron Claw Slam. So the Wyatt Six get yet another tag team title match, which they will face the Street Profits for next Friday, or this upcoming Friday.
Surely they take the titles.
What's that?
I said surely they take the titles.
They have to.
We will see. And then they made it official with Randy Orton versus Drew McIntyre as Saturday night's main event. We then had a promo from the new United States Women's Champion in Julia. She goes, I know what title means. One by one, opponents will come to me, and one by one, they'll all fall. I didn't get this. I got this with my own power. Blue flames don't flicker. Blue flames burn everything down. I'll take this title where no one has dared to go. No mercy, no doubt, no fear. With fire, with fury, my way. So whoever is next step closer, you're about to feel the heat of the beautiful madness.
I love how they let her cook that fucking promo in Japanese.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's more comfortable in Japanese.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But exactly.
And I think this is something to note, and I've actually been saying it since both of them have entered the company. Her English is a little bit better than Stephanie's is.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And I think that's a very big glaring difference between the two, and that's not a slight at either one, or I mean at Stephanie at all. I just feel that that's why Julia is a little bit more featured than Stephanie, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why she had that Netflix promo.
Yeah, that's right. Yes, I did, which I showed you there. So we then had a Tiffany Stratton segment, who's going to pick her opponent for Evolution. Out comes the Ice Queen herself, Miss Jade Cargill, and man, she looks good with that crown. Really good stuff there with Jade there coming out with the crown there. He goes, Tiffany, I see you out there looking like a champion, beating Nia. Respect, but but you was barely standing, and I was crowning myself queen of the ring. She gave a shout out to Asuka. Choose wrong, and you won't be at SummerSlam. But to be honest, it won't matter who I face. I'm coming out with that title anyways, always. And Tiffany goes, I have a surprise for everybody, and out comes Miss Trish Stratus. Get her best pink. Good. Out. Maron. And she came out there. Yeah. I'm water later. But she goes, Trish, you're today because we teamed up at Elimination Chamber. And I thought to myself, What Evolution would be without such actions? I would like to offer you the opportunity to face me at Evolution for the Women's Championship. And then Jay goes, okay, bet you want to choose Trish? That's fine. Like I said, doesn't matter if it's you or a legend at SummerSlam. And then Trish obviously agrees. And so we're gonna have Trish versus Tiffy at Evolution, which will be obviously a very good match between the two, and another test for Tiffany as well. So obviously, you had Charlotte at WrestleMania, and now you have a Hall of Fame legend in Trish to get a one-on-one match out of. So.
And I love how everybody thinks that this is a fucking random match for Tiffany. It's like you idiots realize she was just in a match with her.
Teaming with her at Evolution. Exactly. It's just like a return favor. It's like, geez. My God, these guys are idiots. But anyways, enough of that. We then had who I believe is the most improved wrestler so far in 2025 in Solo Sikoa with a promo here with his U.S. championship. He goes, oh, hold on. Happy birthday, America, from your new United States champion. Hope you got your fireworks ready because we're going to celebrate. And please help me welcome the newest member of my family, Tala Tonga, a.k.a. Hikaleo. So we have his name now. So which begs the question: Are people going to get confused? We have Tama, Tonga, and now Tala. So,
Oh yeah, they're definitely going to get confused for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, anyway, okay, but regardless,
Tama, Tonga.
What you're looking at right now, it's nothing like a group is way stronger and more dangerous than ever. And boys, if Jacob wants to get involved in our business tonight, you two stay back. Me and JC will take care of it. These are my MFTs, my family tree, and now my family is complete. A little cheesy on the name, but you know what? Solo, you're doing a great job. So right now, so I'm gonna do your process.
Hikuleu is a massive human being.
Speaking of
massive human being.
Yeah, speaking of massive, you see Tonga Loa's freaking arms? Freaking, I guess his bicep got healed in a dramatic way.
No shit.
Whew. Yeah, so Trish runs into Jade Cargill, basically wishing each other luck. And then Naomi attacks Jade, so which then proceeds to Nick Aldis asking if she's okay. And then she's sick and tired of it and she wants a match with her. So she will have a match with her at Evolution, which will become a no holds barred match on this case here. Now, obviously, people think it's like, oh, you should win this, but let's be clear, you're not going to have your Queen of the Ring lose to the Money in the Bank winner because we know that the Money in the Bank winner will cash and win it. So, whatever. It seems like it's the blow off from these two, which is fine. I have no problem with that.
Definitely needs to be the end of their feud, that's for sure.
Absolutely. We then had a solid tag match between Fraxium and this, what I would say it's a makeshift team, but it is a very good pairing of a makeshift team of Rey Fenix and Andrade.
My brother in Christ.
Yeah.
I have seen a lot of tag teams over the last 20-something years that I've watched wrestling, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And never have I seen two guys just get thrown together like this. Mm-hmm. And their chemistry is off the fucking charts.
It is absolutely fantastic to see these guys. Their potential is obviously being utilized in a very good way, and it injects more life into a tag division, which has been always lackluster. But SmackDown obviously is committed to making good tag team again.
And here's the thing that pisses me off about that, man, is like, you look at the differences between SmackDown and you look at what Raw is. Mm-hmm. Nothing on Raw really stands out like SmackDown does. And I don't even mean that in a disrespectful way. But
no. Yeah.
All the talent that they have on Raw right now, nothing stands out the way that SmackDown is standing out every single week.
Yeah, it's great there. And then it was good stuff there. Phoenix gets the goodbye amigo. I guess that's his kick to the face there. He gives it to just looking at it here. Oh yeah, he gives it to Fraser, and then he lands the somersault plancha, and then Andrade gets the message to pick up the victory. So they're 2-0 as a tag team. So good on them on this case here. We then had Damian Priest running into Aleister Black in the backstage area. Priest wants to talk about R-Truth again. Priest tells Black that he has a match with Truth next week. Black feels that Priest may be setting Truth up. That couldn't be the case, right? After all, Priest is the good guy. Who told Black that Priest was the good guy? And who told Black that Truth was going to be the victim to violence? So, more confidence, obviously, in Aleister Black's character there from the SmackDown crew there. So it's
You
good
know
to
what
see.
I noticed about their dynamic between each other? I get John Wick vibes when I listen to them talk to each other. When he's like, Priest, Black, Ron.
Yeah. And then we get the announcement, of course, as mentioned, the Street Profits will put their tag titles on the line against the Wyatt Six. And then, made official with the Jade Cargill and Naomi match, WrestleMania match, in Evolution, which will be no holds barred, which then goes to the main event here of Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa. Jacob Fatu and Jimmy Uso versus Solo Sikoa and JC Mateo. Typical Bloodline versus Bloodline Civil War crap.
I'm going to be 100% honest with you. This match should not have closed out the show.
Yeah, I agree.
It was probably one of the worst matches put in a main event spot.
I think they only put it on the main event because of what happened after the cameras got cut off there. They did have Cody and Jay, save them just for the dark match purposes because it was Cody's birthday, so they wanted to celebrate there with Jay and Cody. But yeah, it should not have closed it up. But Jacob gets the win by pinning Solo Sikoa. But then they deliver a Shield powerbomb to Jacob through the table there, all four of them. So that ended the show there. SmackDown, pretty solid for a tape show. Very quick too. I don't know if you noticed, but if you went to Netflix there, it was actually already posted there on July 4th, so you could have basically watched it 80 minutes straight without.
People were spoiling the show before.
Exactly. Before watching it live.
So I got off.
Yeah. I watched it at 8, so like with you guys. So I just watched it at 8, but yeah, solid SmackDown there overall. Not too bad. No.
Not bad. Yeah, wrestling this week was pretty decent. But
I do have an F-bomb.
Oh, shit, we got an F-bomb. What is the F-bomb?
F-bomb is Hangnail and fucking Moxley are going to have a gore porn match for the
Again?
At what point does enough become enough? I understand they're in Texas. I get it. But at the same time, how many fucking death matches need to be for that title? Because none of them are appealing. You're not going to sit here and tell me that out of every match that Moxley and fucking Hangnail have had, warrant a fucking death match that's going to be better than all the others. Because it's all the same shit. It's all the same weapons. It's all the same spots. It's going to be a bloodbath finishing the fucking match, and Moxley's probably going to retain. At what point do we just be honest with this company and say that this is garbage?
Yeah. I agree, but I think that the fans, naturally, like we like what we like, and we're very vocal about what we don't like. But there's fans that want blood, right? And want that violence. And I personally don't think that it's wrestling. I think, like you said, it's gore porn. But like you said, how many fucking death matches do we need for that championship? And I agree. I think the occasional death match makes it more appealing, right? But we just came off the heels of Anarchy in the Arena. And we also have had multiple fucking violent matches in that company's history. And at some point, right, like Tony Khan's got to put his goddamn toys away and be a goddamn actual booker, and or hire somebody that can book a fucking show properly. Like, look, complete transparency. I would be open to watch AEW if they actually had a creative team and if they actually had somebody booking the shows that was not Tony Khan. I'd be fucking open to it because you would be able to see the night and day difference. and if they took fucking Excalibur off the goddamn table, maybe Tony Schiavone. I'm
Take
all for
Sockhead
it.
off there. I fucking hate Sockhead.
Yeah, listen to him talk is like pulling teeth.
He's an idiot.
I like Taz. I enjoy Taz's commentary. I enjoy Nigel McGuinness.
Taz is fine, yeah. Taz is it's fine.
I really enjoy Taz's dumbass moments, right? But Nigel McGuinness is a hell of a blue collar commentator, or a color commentator.
Nigel's okay. The problem I have with Nigel is I feel like he gets a little too corny with some of the heel characters. It's almost kind of like he tries to be a British Corey Graves. Like when I listen to him, I feel like he tries too hard.
Yeah. I think, like I said, I'd be open to watching him. And that's why I watched him when AEW first, came around, was because I wanted to see what it was all about. I enjoyed some of the storylines that were running, right?
Yeah.
I enjoyed the hunt of the chase, or the chase for the championship for certain people. Like when Mox was chasing Jericho for that championship, I really enjoyed it. Same with Omega. And it just feels like now it's directionless, right? Like the Death Riders, Black Bull Cuckold Club has fucking run its course. Why are they still doing it? Hangman just gave.
Wheeler Yuta still a thing?
Say again?
And I said, why is Wheeler Yuta still a thing?
Yeah, Wheeler Yuta. I mean, it doesn't make sense, And then you've got the likes of.
I'm scrolling through Instagram, man, and I happen to see like a mutual or yourself like something that they recently did. I'll watch it just to see. I'm like, oh yeah, he liked it. Maybe it's something that was cool or whatever. And I'll just sit there and listen to like certain things commentary will say, or whatever the promo is. It's like, okay, I don't get the appeal on this. Okay, I don't understand why they did that. Okay, this is fucking stupid. And I'll just go about my way. But like most of the mutuals that I have that do watch it or follow it or whatever, and I see them like it, I'll give it a listen just to see what's going on. But like if I tune in like I did for that first match, and I shut up when I saw Forehead's big ass head come out and fucking go over Mina because of course she did. I just things like that, man. I can't take that women's division seriously. I think Toni Storm has run her course as her character. I tried really hard to give Will Ospreay a chance, and I think the no selling really makes me not give two shits about him.
Yeah.
And I just don't see any redeeming qualities about that show at all.
Exactly. And I think when you have a company like that promotes no selling, finishing moves, and promotes, 30, 40-minute fucking matches where it doesn't make sense. At some point, like, you have to realize that it's not sustainable, right? Like, and that they have to actually push something good, and I know that there's a niche group of people that like it.
The sickos.
Yeah, but at some point, like, they have to change directions. And I wouldn't say like
that's the funny part, man. It's like these people will sit here and slurp themselves till they're dry in the balls over how many tickets they sold and All In. But what's their focus? How many tickets Evolution sold, or how many tickets Great American Bash or Saturday Night's Main Event sold? Why are you guys talking about a show that you guys claim not to watch or care about, and just talk about how many tickets All In sold? Now, I could be a dick and tweet and say, okay, how the fuck do you go from 75,000 plus fans to 20,000 fans? That's fucking sad. I'm sorry. The fact that you can't sell that many tickets in your WrestleMania show is pathetic. Quite
it really
honestly.
is. It really is. I just think at the end of the day, man, like, AEW needs something. I wouldn't even say like going toward the sports entertainment route, because that's not what they are. And that was literally
fucking blew up in their face.
Yeah.
No, if they go to the sports entertainment field at this point here, if they actually change that direction, there's going to be. We're talking about a firestorm on X there. It's going to be a pure meltdown
Yeah.
Sickos are.
Let them keep the professional wrestling allure, whatever. But like they need to restructure, and they need an actual fucking PC. They need somebody that is training these men and women, right? Because
Mhm.
like it's getting out of control to the point where you it's sad that there's one woman on that fucking roster that has hogged every fucking championship from every company that she's walked into.
Mhm.
And she's not good. She's not.
No.
She's not. If you sent a mediocre, if you sent somebody the likes of, I don't know,
Tegan
Caden
Knox.
Carter, Tegan Knox. If you sent somebody like a Caden Carter or a Katana Chance to AEW to actually like perform, it would be better than Mercedes. Like,
I
and
wouldn't even
I
say that because the difference between Caden and Katana when they're in WWE will put that ceiling on talents and prevent them from being their own worst enemy in that ring. Now, look on the other side of the coin. For fuck's sake, there's so many talent that came over from WWE to AEW, and they're worse than they were somehow in AEW than they were in WWE.
Yep.
Look at Josh Alexander. I think he's a good example from the TNA conversation to AEW. I think his work doesn't stand out like it did in TNA. I think him being thrown in there with Don Callis is ridiculous. But it's like when they try to be like WWE or when they try to do certain things that WWE is doing, like they had a couple weeks ago, or maybe it's a couple months ago now, they debuted this tag team, I guess that's been on the Ring of Honor called the Frat House. And it's a Chase U. It's a quote unquote mature adult version of Chase U with a bunch of fucking frat guys that look like they're getting ready to SA somebody.
Right. And you have somebody that continues to fail over and over again in Griff Garrison. Like Griff Garrison cannot get over. Period. He couldn't get over under fucking Brian Pillman Jr. or Julia Hart, and he couldn't get over when he was working with Dark Order. Like at some point, they just
Dark Order can't get over Dark Order. They should have
Dark
stopped
Order was over
as soon as Brody passed.
Well, Dark Order was over when Brody passed, like super over, and then maybe I would say even a year after, but they've since
they milk
it. Yeah, it's literally their novelty act, and I've seen some work that they do outside of AEW, which is decent. It's decent. It's not good.
I don't like him as a person or a wrestler.
No, I don't like Uno. I like Stu Grayson. I like John Silver. And
is he that weird dude that has an obsession with dicks?
He's the small buff guy with bald head.
Yeah, he's the one that has an obsession with dicks.
Yeah.
Did your power just go out?
No, dude, it's the sun. The sun's like right here, and it's literally blacking everything out.
Jesus.
Yeah, it looks like Aleister Black in his promos, man. Jesus.
Oh my god! But yeah, dude, I like the Dark Order at some degree, but milking it, when they used to bring Brody's son out is just absolutely disgusting. And the fact that his mother allows it to happen is even worse.
And she's a vile person herself, so it makes sense.
Yeah. I'm glad that Brody Jr. is training under like Liv Morgan and Talia and fucking Cody, because at least he's getting a foundation of what professional wrestling actually is, and not just doing 8,000 super kicks and a destroyer. Yeah. But yeah, AEW sucks, and they need something to change it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, by the way, before we go, you know what I found out, or you know what I found that I forgot that I had? Right. I have about 30 fucking packs of WCW cards from 91. I had, when I lived in Alaska, I had an old WWF pack that
I hadn't opened, and I was like, I'm just gonna keep it sealed. And then curiosity killed the cat. I used to collect a lot of cards. Like I had 8 big ass binders of cards, and I opened it up, the WWF one, and it had a Bret Hart rookie card. Should have kept it, but all that stuff is gone now. It sucks because that was a lot of money pumped into it. But yeah, I got like 30 fucking packs of these WCW cards I'm about to get rid of.
Oh, WCW.
Old WCW. But yeah, so Chris, what do you got going on this week? What are you excited for?
Bro, I'm excited for Penta versus Seth Rollins.
What?
Yeah, they made that official today.
Wow.
Yeah, dude, that match is gonna super bang. My God,
Yeah,
if that's not the main event, I'm gonna be pissed.
The
Right?
whole card is gonna be freaking banging. I just
We
saw
got,
the whole card.
Jay Uso versus Bronson, so that's gonna be a
Bronson, yeah.
fun ass match.
Yeah.
I don't remember what else is.
We have Braun Breaker versus Sammy. We will
Right.
have Kairi Sane versus Roxy.
That'll be good.
And then we also got the official announcement of Becky versus Lyra versus
Oh, do we?
Bailey.
At Evolution,
At Evolution, yeah.
very nice.
Ooh. That's this weekend, yeah.
This weekend, that's right.
Sick.
And NXT should be a lot of fun. A lot of great matches set up for there. Can't wait for Ricky Saints against Vanity Project. That's going to be a blast. I'm excited for the upcoming pay-per-views, man. I know there hasn't been a lot of build and a lot of hype and all the bullshit this community is trying to stir up. But I think every match on all 3 shows, fuck's sake, I think are going to be a lot of fun. Not watching All In because AEW could suck my ass.
Absolutely.
But yeah, this coming weekend should be a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, JR? What you excited for?
Yeah, just everything that Chris just mentioned. Should be a good week of wrestling there. Some good shows for WWE this weekend. Can't wait to see what happens with Goldberg, honestly, on Saturday night's main event. So that's going to be a very interesting send-off, or we don't know if it's a send-off or not, but I mean, it's going to be good. Either way, it's going to be good. I can't wait to see it there. Yeah, this week I've got basically a full week of work, and then I'm off next week
Nice.
on a staycation. So I'll be mostly resting for the most part there. I'll be not following that during my week off. Actually, we'll be going to the border at Windsor, Ontario, next to Detroit, because there's a Caesar's Palace there. So I'm going to be spending some time there at the casino. No, the following week, not this week, the following week there. So
Very nice.
looking forward to that. But other than that, yeah, should be some good shows there. Yeah, like Chris says, All In can go kiss my ass, and I will shit on them because I know they will have a bad show. So.
Oh man, my week is fucking slammed. Like literally the busiest week that I've had in a very, very, very long time. I'm talking probably a year or so. I just started up recording for Recover Out Loud, my main podcast. I've got 4 recordings tomorrow.
Tomorrow? You're a psychopath.
Dude, I put it out and I put a 4-hour window in thinking that people are going to be like, hey, look, I'll just pick a time. Dude, everybody slammed on tomorrow. Tuesday, I've got an appointment at the VA in West Virginia, and then I have my Veterans Court thing going on Tuesday for my mentees. Wednesday, I've got 3 recordings. And then Thursday, hey, man, content. Got to push content out.
I get it.
Yeah.
Look. I'm trying to do this so I don't have to do the hard work later. And then Thursday is my daughter's birthday. She's going to be in Baltimore, so I live an hour from Baltimore. I get to spend time with her. And then Friday is my birthday, turning 37. Yeah, buddy, getting fucking old. And so I'll be able to spend that day with her as well. And just this weekend, watching Saturday Night Main Event as well as Evolution. Super excited about that. But yeah, I mean, leading up this week is going to be insane. Hopefully, I don't have to do a lot of work. Next week, the following week, I've got one or two recordings set, and then I'm gonna be on somebody else's podcast. So yeah, dude, back at it, 100%, running strong. Yeah, and I'm excited for. Look, I want to see Goldberg on the Go Home show tomorrow. I want to see a face to face with him and Gunther.
Yes.
I'm not gonna lie to you. If he's not there, I'm gonna be a little disappointed.
Yeah.
I think he will be. I don't think Triple H is that stupid, but I would be really disappointed if he's not there.
I think
I
he
agree.
gives a goal. I think Gunther runs his mouth and he gets speared by by
Ooh.
Goldberg there.
I would like
Ooh.
that. I would like that a lot.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I also want to see Seth looming just to fuck with him.
Mhm.
I think that would be a nice little seed plant just in case.
Yeah. It would.
Maybe
It
he's
would.
watching backstage. And like they transition to watching
Yeah,
backstage.
I'd be cool with that too.
He'd be
Yeah.
like, and then he'd be like, interesting. That's something.
Super excited. Might be going to Six Flags again this week.
Very nice.
Maybe next week. I don't know. I have season passes at Six Flags, and they're shutting. This is the last season that they're doing Six Flags, so they're shutting Six Flags all down. Yeah, which
Why?
sucks. At least mine. At least my Six Flags, which is Six Flags
okay.
America.
Why are they
It was the
shutting down?
first one. Just because somebody bought the land that Six Flags is on, and it's not turning a profit at all.
What?
Dude, look! I'm telling you, when I went to the park last week, there was no lines. There was like no lines for any rides. There was, the soak or whatever, the water park, no waits. I mean, obviously you had like a 2 or 3 minute wait for water slides, but Lazy
That's
River was pretty
bizarre.
much.
During the summer too.
Yeah.
Well, I guess the summer would play a part in that. It's been unusually really hot.
Yeah. Well, then on top of that too, they don't even know if they're doing their Halloween stuff this year. So that's a big kick of the balls, and their discount pricing on everything. Like I bought 3 fucking flash shirts for my daughter for her birthday, $35.
Not bad. Not bad at all.
Oh, I'll take it. But yeah, I mean, like, it's good that I got a season pass for the whole park to include the water park, $75. Yeah,
Good deal.
So, yeah, absolutely good deal. So yeah, we'll see what this week looks like, but I'm really excited, man. It looks, this week is going to be wild and crazy, but it's going to be fun. So yeah, until next week, we'll see you guys, and I hope you guys have a good week. Deuces.